A little winter chill is in the air, but it's not stopping these tailgaters. They are ready for Patriots football, and that man, Tom Brady, ready to make another late season run here in New England. It's a Fox NFL Sunday special. The New England Patriots taking on the New Orleans Saints. Welcome to the broadcast booth, everyone. Ron Pitts along with Tim Ryan. And Tim, you can't deny the New England Patriots dynasty. 3 Super Bowls in the last 4 years. Bill Belichick's record speaks for itself. But if there's ever a time to make a run at this team, it might be right here and right now. They have had some injury problems. They haven't put together 2 wins since last year. But hold everything when you say that because of 2 things. Number 1, they're very good in November. And number 2, the quarterback, Tom Brady.
Well, I believe in both of those things that you just said. And, Ronnie, the reason they're so good in November and December, I think, is because they're mentally sharper than most of their opponents. Yep. Give credit to Bill Belichick and the coaching staff for that. But Tom Brady, you said, I mean, there's not a better quarterback at crunch time. To me, he's the best in the business. If this team is going to go on that late season run, it's guys on defense that have to get better. Richard Seymour, finally healthy. He can dominate a football game. Teddy Bruschi told us on Friday that he finally feels like he's in his football groove. And then Ellis Hobbs, the rookie, inserted into the lineup last week at corner in Miami, had a very, very big day. These 3 guys should help the Patriots make that push.
Meanwhile, for the New Orleans Saints, Jim Haslett brings his team in here, and they're still fighting through the aftermath of Hurricane Katrina. They're 2-7. They've dropped the last 2 games, close ones, but they just need a win. They're desperate for anything good right now.
Talking to these guys yesterday, I mean, they are just a bunch of tough, resilient, mentally strong guys that are ready for a W. And talking to Aaron Brooks, tell you something, I mean, he is extremely frustrated, and his numbers show that. He has tried so hard this year without a lot of help. Frankly, it's piled up into a lot of mistakes. He should get better today with a full complement of wide receivers. Dante Stallworth having a pretty good year. He should get better with Joe Horn back in the lineup. Ronnie, Joe finally turned it loose last week in practice. These guys should help Aaron Brooks get the ball in the end zone.
Aaron Brooks and the 2-time Super Bowl MVP Tom Brady ready to do battle here in New England. Kickoff next. This is perfect football weather here in Foxborough. 51 degrees, very little humidity. The wind is kind of quiet, and we are ready to go. The New England Patriots head coach Bill Belichick, the winningest NFL coach since 2001, and he's got the best postseason record in NFL history as you see how he stacks up in Patriots history. Jim Haslett, as we said, trying to get a win. Very good on the road. You don't want to sleep on this team in spite of the troubles they've had this year.
No, I'd expect a good football game today, Ronnie. New Orleans always plays up to the competition. New England this year has played down to the competition. Should be a good game.
This will be Stecker from the 5. Stecker plugging away. He gets it out past the 25. Call it a 21-yard return. Aaron Brooks, 114 touchdown passes, 2 passes away from breaking the Saints' all-time record in touchdown passes set by Archie Manning of 115. He's making his 79th consecutive start today.
Did you get the feeling in talking to him yesterday that he's just going to let it fly?
Yeah.
I mean, absolutely. Had a very good week of practice. Talked about his receivers that he's got finally healthy, and Aaron seemed enthused to come in here and just let it go against his defense.
We'll set the rest of the Saints offense after this. Pressure, Brooks out of the pocket, throws, skips that one down, and that will be 2nd down, intended for Stallworth. The offensive line, they'll go with Gandy, Jaycox, Bentley inside, the converted guard. Montre Holland inserted into the lineup to help the run game. And Jamal Brown, the rookie, he's got some nastiness. Keep an eye on him. The backs and receivers, Antoine Smith, the former New England Patriot. Played here from 2001 to 2003, and that means he's got 2 Super Bowl rings. Putting together some nice long runs for the Saints so far this year with the injury to Deuce McAllister. McAllister is out for the season. That was back in Week 5 against Green Bay, and problems early for New Orleans. They call timeout. We'll check it out when we come back.
Fox NFL Sunday is sponsored by Southwest Airlines, proud sponsor of the NFL and official airline of Super Bowl 40.
The 122nd consecutive sellout here at Gillette Stadium, dating back to 1994. They have been able to sell out not only this one, but the stadium next door as well.
These folks know football. I mean, you talk to the fans outside of the stadium, and they're fans of the game, but they know the game through and through. Not a better atmosphere, really, right now around pro football than it is up here in New England at Gillette.
They'll give to Smith. Smith grinds it inside for a couple. He got 3. The New England Patriots defense don't necessarily look at their ranking. They're ranked 31st, but they've got everybody healthy. Seymour back in the mix now for the second game. And, of course, Teddy Bruschi, the big playmaker inside. His 4th game back. And he makes a difference as far as the energy is concerned on the team. Hobbs had a big game last week against Miami. Third down and 7. Pressure coming from the outside. That's Stone. They throw inside to the tight end. It's dropped, picked up by Stallworth, but it's blown dead at the 40-yard line. It should be enough for a first down. That's the tight end, Zachary Hilton.
Really good job by Aaron Brooks recognizing the blitz. I mean, it was clear New England had 6 guys. They're coming off the edge, guys coming up the gut. Zachary Hilton, right in front of the umpire right here, gets away from Eugene Wilson. Aaron finds him in what you call a hot read, which is where the guy is going to be open, the open receiver versus a particular blitz. Good recognition by Aaron Brooks, as well as Zachary Hilton to run the inside route.
They'll give to Smith. Smith, not much. The Saints coming off a much-needed bye and a last-second loss to the Chicago Bears last week. They've lost 5 in a row and just can't seem to close the deal. 2 weeks ago, they lost to Atlanta on the last-second field goal, 34-33.
They've lost some heartbreakers this year. I mean, you go back to the St. Louis game, you go to the Atlanta game, and Antoine Smith, I'll tell you, a couple weeks ago against Chicago, 110 yards for him on the ground. Ran for about 4.7, 4.8 a carry. Had a very good game as a downhill running back. North and south is where he wants to go.
Throw on second down. Carney hit immediately. Vrabel inside with the initial hit. Antoine Smith, as we said earlier, the former New England Patriot.
He's got a couple Super Bowl rings. He was here for 2 of those.
Right.
Was great in Buffalo, was very good here, and New Orleans picked him up as an insurance policy to Deuce McAllister. Deuce goes down in week 5, and Antoine's rolled with the rock pretty good behind a good offensive line. I think those guys up front deserve some credit because whoever they plugged in back there has been able to get some pretty positive yards behind that big O-line.
Third down and 5. Horn in short motion. Looking for Joe outside. Goes deep down the field instead to Dante Stallworth. And that's good enough for a first down.
Well, and basically, New England's got 3 to cover 2. And you got 1, you got 2, and then Eugene Wilson will be deep. The 2 defenders will go up with Joe Horn. Stallworth takes it deep, and Eugene Wilson can't stay with him. See, both guys suck up on Joe Horn. That little ghost route clears it out. Nice route. Good throw by Aaron Brooks to Dante Stallworth.
Brooks has now completed a pass of 25 yards or more in 30 straight games. That's the longest active streak in the NFL. That one was good for 26 yards. Hilton in motion. They'll go with the draw. Smith. Not a lot. Warren in on the tackle.
And I think that last play to Dante Stallworth, perfect example of a guy benefiting from the #1 receiver being back in Joe Horn. I mean, there's no doubt that the numbers have been down for the passing game since Joe went out with the bad hamstring. Came back a couple of weeks ago against Chicago on film. Clearly wasn't right. They talked about him going full go in practice, let it loose. And I think perfect illustration of it there as 2 guys jump him on the short route and Dante Stallworth takes you deep on a 7 route, which is a deep out. And they were able to exploit Eugene Wilson.
Saints putting together a nice drive here in the first quarter. They'll pass. They pick up the blitz. Going deep. Horn wide open. just out of reach. He had Hobbs beat. Ellis Hobbs a step or two late.
How about the blitz pickup by the running backs? Watch Mike Carney right here, number 44, and then watch the tailback behind him, Antoine Smith, I believe, both step up and do a good job. See Antoine Smith stepping up right there on Ty Warren. They're able to pick him up. Joe is wide open on a little wheel route, which is out and up. Hobbs had a tough time staying with him. Aaron just overthrew it.
You got to hit those, especially against this team. You got to hit them early. 3rd down and 8.
Look for a pop in the middle of the field here.
Movement on the left side. Our referee, Gerald Austin, will give us the first call of the day.
False start, 72 offense, 5 yards, 3rd down.
That's Wayne Gandy, that left tackle position.
And Ronnie, I think if there's one area, as you look at this defense, and they're ranked 31st, their pass defense has been brutal. And I know injuries have played a big role. Pass rush has played a role. They have not had significant pressure. They just signed this guy, Artrell Hawkins, to come in and try to supplement. So many injuries on the back end, but I think there's one area that you could drill down into that's been a real soft spot. You saw it last week against Miami. Was the back end of this defense giving up a lot of big plays.
360 yards for Gus Frerotte passing last week. 3rd and long. That'll be a short throw. It won't even be close to the sticks, and it's incomplete. Hobbs on the breakup, and that'll bring up a 4th down.
That's a fiery little guy last week. Inserted into the lineup, was a 3rd-round pick this year. 2 fumble recoveries, had a big interception, led the team in tackles. What'd they tell us on Friday? Willie McGinnis, Hobbs got a little pumped up in the first quarter. He made a big play and started going crazy. Willie McGinnis said, dude, chill out. A good play. There's 3 quarters left, Rook. And the rookie got it figured out in a hurry.
Hobbs replacing Dwayne Starks, who was put on the injured reserve list and gone for the year. Dwight is back deep to receive the Berger kick, but they will take the intentional delay of game most likely and go back a little bit.
Delay of game, offense, penalty is declined. It's still 4th down.
Berger averaging 18 now, or has 18 out inside the 20-yard line.
He's having another great year, Ronnie. Probably on his way back to Honolulu, Mitch Berger. Consistently one of the better punters in pro football. He was great up in Minnesota. He's been very good down in New Orleans. Can kick indoors, can kick outdoors. Very good punter.
New England very wisely declines the punt, so Berger will have to try to fit it in. Pooches it. It's going to roll a little bit. They should have a chance for a good one, and they do. And that ball is down at about the 3-yard line. Fred Booker, backup corner, hustling down to down the Berger kick. A first look at Tom Brady and the Patriot offense next. A 9-play drive. They used up 4 minutes, 25 seconds, but got absolutely nothing out of it except good field position. They'll go 1st and 10. Brady on the handoff pass. And pass will have a couple inside. Tom Brady, the NFL's best overall record as a starter since the merger in 1970, 62-18. And he's 33-6 here at home career.
And those 2 losses both this year. And, you know, Tom Brady, after that Indianapolis game on Monday night, and they got shellacked pretty good, challenged this offense to be better than they've ever been before, to help pick up some of the slack by the defense. They responded with a pretty good outing, good balanced attack last week at Miami.
They're going to pass again inside. It'll be about 3 yards, 2 yards short of the first. Up front, the 2 rookies. Kazar and Mankins will start on the left side. They'll go with Holstein in the center position along with Neal and Gorin. The backs and receivers pass. Evans, who had a great day last week against Miami. Branch, Davis, and Daniel Graham at the tight end position.
New Orleans has got out here on defense, what they call their fast dime. Basically, they got 4 defensive ends all lined up as pass rushers right here, of course, with 2 extra defensive backs in the football game.
3rd down and 3. There's a throw and a big-time hit. McKenzie on Dion Branch, but guess what? He got the 1st down. Branch is letting everybody know about it. That was good for 6.
Branch just runs a little pivot route. You're going to see him here. He's going to come inside and then pivot back out, catches the ball, and McKenzie lights him up. Pow. Great job hanging on to that.
They'll move the chains, make it 1st down. Looking for the screen. It developed late. Actually didn't develop at all. Let's go to Los Angeles for the update. Here's James Brown.
Hey, Ron and Tim, after a Carolina pick thrown by Jake Delhomme, Kyle Orton, rookie quarterback, hooking up with Musa Muhammad, former Panther, battle of division leaders there. Chicago at home on touch, top by touch. Hey, Ron and Tim, you guys still like each other prior to December 3rd?
Things are starting to get a little tight,
JB, we had our run.
It's over,
well, Pittsy,
right?
we had our run. Boy, what a game in Chicago today. The Bears on a 5-game winning streak. Carolina on a 6-game winning streak. Wow.
2nd and 10, the run to pass. Pass avoids 1 and gets out close to the 20-yard line. The New Orleans Saints defense, they are having trouble against the run. They'll have to be stout up front with these 4 guys. Charles very, very quiet at the end position. The linebackers, Ronald McKinnon, a tackling machine, coming in here from free agency from the Arizona Cardinals. And in the secondary, Dwight Smith, big-time hitter. He has 2 interceptions as well.
Got that fast dime out again with the defensive ends up front for New Orleans.
3rd and 5, penalty markers are down.
Ball start, 76 offense, 5 yards, still 3rd down.
That's Brandon Gorin. He's filling in for the injured Tom Ashworth, battling a knee.
Here he is here. Will Smith is lined up on him. Believe that's Will over there. Oh, no, excuse me. Charles Grant lined up on him. But those are those 4 defensive ends. I mean, you got Will Smith, you got Charles Grant, you got Darren Howard, you got Tony Bryant all across the front as your pass rushers to try to get some heat on Tom Brady.
3rd down and long. Middle of the field, and it's caught. Benjamin Watson. And Watson has a big 1st down. He's out close to midfield, 29 yards.
Ronnie, what an adjustment on the football by Ben Watson. Jason Kraft had him covered up like a blanket, man coverage straight down the seam. Here's Watson here. Kraft is here. He's going to run with him. Watch the adjustment by Benjamin Watson. Contort his body, get it around, and get a hold of this football.
Look at that throw.
And that is really good stuff. And I think you mentioned a great throw by Brady. If he'd have put that out in front, Kraft would have picked that thing off. Put it in a great place where the defender couldn't get it. Benjamin Watson with a really good job. And remember now, this is only this guy's 11th start in pro football. It was a late 1st-round pick a couple of years ago. Sat out most of last season. I think started the opener. Went down with an injury. 2 touchdowns in that game last week at Miami. And to me, possesses those Shannon Sharp type skills. The guy you can flex him out as a tight end, get him to run down the seams against your dime defensive backs. Perfect example of it there, getting the big catch on Jason Kraft.
Another long pass for Brady. He now leads the NFL with 36 passes of over 20 yards. Play action, looking for deep comebacks. There it is. Textbook, Branch. And that's one reason he's the leading receiver on this team, 11 yards and another 1st down.
And it's all about timing. Tom Brady knows right where he's going with the football. And he knows so much that he's just staring down his receiver. He's got that much confidence in Dion Branch that he's going to put on the brakes and now come back to the football. That's why they call it a deep comeback. You put on the brakes, accelerate back towards the ball, create a little gap of separation between yourself and the defender. It's all about the timing of that throw. Tom right on the money.
Alert. Evans alone in the backfield. Let's listen. Grant coming backside. He misses a slot going deep. And it's incomplete, intended for Andre Davis.
Now this time Tom Brady, he knows he's going down the right sideline to the deep route. He's going to look left. Look at his eyes, trying to pull that safety to the left, opens it up, overthrows his guy. But watch Darren Howard, how close he is to a sack and batting this ball out. 2 inches more inside. That's a forced fumble and a sack. Brady steps up just enough to let it go to Andre Davis.
Plus he gets extra points for hitting the pylon. 2nd and 10. The delayed draw to pass. Pass hit immediately inside. And they knew they would have tough goings inside trying to run the ball against this unit. They've been very tough at times, even though it doesn't necessarily reflect that in the run game numbers.
Well,
ranked 30th in the NFL.
I think their stats are misleading. I think this team has played from behind in some games this year. I think that a lot of teams have thrown a short passing attack at them and have certainly gone up by a touchdown. And without the explosion on offense for New Orleans, teams get up a touchdown, then they just try to run the rock at them. And I think that's why their stats are up, the numbers are up in terms of their run defense. I actually think they're a pretty good group at the point of attack.
3rd down and 9. Caught by pass, but pass will be short of the 1st down by about 3 yards. Nice job by Cedric Hodge. Decision time for New England. Brady's looking toward the sidelines.
Just had nowhere to go, unloads it to his check down, and as you said, Cedric Hodge was with Patrick Pass the whole time, and boy, he's been dealing with a hamstring the last several weeks. First game back for him in 2 or 3 games. Hopefully he didn't get a retweak in that hamstring. With Corey Dillon out, Ronnie, Kevin Falk out, they're limited at running back.
4th and 2. They're going to call timeout to think about it.
New England.
New England on the year has converted 3 of 5 4th down attempts. 4th and 2, Tim Ryan, what are you thinking here?
Well, I think the Patriots got to throw the football. I mean, they have not had a good running game all year long. They've had injuries up front. They haven't had great push. Heck, I think they're not even getting 80 yards a game on the ground.
Right.
Clearly, Corey Dillon's not out there. So I would throw it, and that's the challenge now. Is look at the Saints there and what they've done on 4th down defensively. But listen, I mean, a big challenge to try to get this. This is a long 2, and the Saints all year long, Ron, have been very, very good in pass defense.
They'll go with the empty backfield. If it's pass, it better come out quick. Brady goes the gun. To buy more time. Plenty of time to tight end. 1st down. Ben Watson again. And it all started with the protection.
Yeah, and it all started with a busted coverage on defense. Guys are running into each other. Terrence Melton doesn't know where he's going or who he's covering. He's going to be over here. He started here, and he's coming across because he knows he's got Watson man up. He's going to run into the defender. Ben's going to run an out route. See that? Ooh. He gets picked by his own guy because he's out of position. Tom could have got it there sooner, saw it late, got it to him, and Watson with another big catch.
Brady wearing the glove for the first time this year. That brings back shades of 2001, the first Super Bowl run. Ward in the cold weather, and Watson is killing the New Orleans Saints secondary. That one good for 23.
Watch Ben Watson get off the ball here at the line of scrimmage. Colby Buckwalt, not enough depth. You see that by the linebacker, Colby Buckwalt? If you're going to be in zone coverage and you got a tight end running down inside the numbers there, you got safety help behind you, you got to get depth. Buckwalt didn't get it. They were able to get a big one again to Benjamin Watson.
Pass gets within 2. Nice block there by Heath Evans, and he saw the cutback. The Patriots with a 1-game lead over Buffalo in the AFC North.
50 and 90 are both
They are
eligible.
looking for momentum. They haven't had back-to-back wins the entire year. If you look at Rick Venturi, the defensive coordinator. Brady with time again. Can't hold on. Christian Fourier. Remember, this drive started at the 2-yard line.
Boy, did they bite up bigger than Dallas on the play action. Tom Brady had Fourier like you wouldn't believe. Watch Buckwalt. He's got Fourier in man coverage. He's going to bite. Fourier's wide open, but Tom does not see him until it's too late. See, right there, it's a touchdown. Tom takes a couple of steps, lets it go just outside of the reach of Christian Fourier. Still could have grabbed it. Still could have grabbed it. Would have been a tough catch. That ball's got a lot more heat on it than people at home understand. That thing's talking to the tight end as it's coming to him with that hum.
16th play of the drive, and it will result in a touchdown. Very easy. Dion Branch with his 4th touchdown of the year.
It's got to be a busted coverage. It has to be by the New Orleans Saints. Mike McKenzie here on defense. Branch will come in. He's just going to let him have the inside release, and nobody covers Dion Branch. You see that? All the linebackers again bid up. Safeties bid up. Branch all by himself in the back of the end zone. He and Brady making it look easy.
Boy, was he not a joy to talk to on Friday.
You know what you get out of him is what a student of the game Dion Branch is. Not only does he know what he has to do, he knows his opponent through and through. As a matter of fact, he knows the opponent's backup through and through. The guy really gets the game mentally.
16 plays, 98 yards. They made it look easy.
Fox NFL Sunday is sponsored by the new Sprint, the official telecommunications service sponsor of the NFL. By Taco Bell, think outside the bun. By Samsung, the official HD TV of the NFL. And by Nissan, who invites you to shift the way you move through the world.
Back here in Gillette Stadium, a quick look at the scoring drive. And, you want to talk about what makes Super Bowl teams, that kind of stuff right there. I don't care who the defense is. When you can do that in this league, you're something special. And Vinatieri, we know he's something special. He puts it out of the end zone, and it'll be a touchback. Saints ball on the 20 when we come back. 7-zip New England.
Ronnie, this touchdown by Dion Branch, a perfect example of play action and how it works. He gets to the back of the end zone there, but watch all the action coming here, and then watch this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys all bite on the play action. Branch all alone back here for the touchdown. That's what you call being a little too over-aggressive defensively. Trying to stuff a run game, and then Josh Bullock's the rookie on the back end, getting the brunt of it from Jim Haslett, I think. And your free safety, he's got to be your last line of defense, and clearly Josh, one of those guys that bit up on the play action.
Deep is the deepest, wide is the widest, and the Patriots not necessarily known for the long drives. They average 6.3 plays on their scoring drives. That's the best in the NFL, but they put together a huge one there, 16 plays. The give to Smith, and Smith will have a couple. Let's go to Los Angeles for James Brown in this game break.
Ron Falcons deep in their own territory, 3rd and 22. Michael Vick stepped on by his guard, pounded on by the Bucs defense, goes out for a series to tend to the injury. Matt Schaub comes in, stripped by Simeon Rice, recovered by Booger McFarland in the end zone. Touchdown, Tampa Bay. They're up 10-0. Vick is back in the game. Back to Ron Pitts and Tim Ryan.
That could change the game a little bit, huh?
Always a slugfest down there with those two teams. Tampa knows how to match up against Vic in Atlanta. Monty Kiffin, no question, knows the recipe for success there.
2nd and 7, and that's not going to work against this defense. McGinnis is there for the cutback.
You know how we always talk about gap control and guys playing their responsibility? Willie McGinnis has got the outside edge of the tight end, and no matter what, he is going to keep that edge. And you can see him right here. Here's Willie. Here's Zach Hilton, who's trying to block Willie. Willie wants to get inside, but he knows this is his gap. He's going to fight to stay out there. He gets the cutback. It runs right into him.
And we
see
saw
just
that.
Extension, keeping his guy away from him, keeping his eyes open. Forcing, and that's what they want to do to Antoine Smith all day. Force him to step sideways, and then they can get him at the line of scrimmage.
We saw that on the film, Tim, as you pointed out. Here comes McGinnis. He gets it off just in time, but I got to believe he felt the heat. Intended for Joe Horn, but that'll bring on the punting unit for the Saints.
Well, and if you're going to try to block Willie McGinnis with Lamont Hall, it's going to be a mismatch all day because he's going to go right by the tight end. A little fake inside, swim outside, then the acceleration to the quarterback. No question, Aaron felt that out of his ear hole and unloaded that football before his receiver could flash open. Nice series by Willie McGinnis.
Berger punting away to Dwight, and a shanker by Mitch Berger. That one barely makes it past the 50-yard line. 28 yards on the punt. And you look at the Patriots from last year, some changes. Charlie Weiss, the offensive coordinator, Romeo Crennel, the defensive coordinator, both accepting head coach jobs. Teddy Bruschi, the stroke, a couple of weeks after the Super Bowl. An amazing comeback for him just to be on the field. And the injury list has been outrageous this year. And of course, the big one, Rodney Harrison, the safety, the all-pro safety.
Oh, no, they miss him. They miss him for sure on the back end of that defense and the intimidation factor. I don't think Eugene Wilson's been the same player. But, you know, with all the injuries, Bill Belichick gets guys to step in, and they're able to do it because I think mentally guys are ready for the challenge.
Time winding down here in the first. The dump off to Heath Evans. And Evans will have at least 5 brought down by Cedric Hodge.
We had a great visit with Bill Belichick Saturday morning, and I mean, just a wonderful guy. And you get the feeling talking to people around the league that, you know, he's closed-minded. He's not going to give you anything in terms of the media. He was very good. I tell you, if you want to get to Bill Belichick and you want him to open up, just start talking football, man. Yeah. That's what he wants to talk about. And again, I think mentally how he has his guys ready to go is what he does best.
Boy, Evans did a lot of this last week against Miami. He averaged 4.9 yards a rush and went for 84 yards. I don't think the Dolphins were looking for him.
Well, they get a real good, they get movement up front. Steve Neal, look at that. That's perfect. Gets off to the linebacker. Hochstein is able to get the defensive lineman down. Creates a big gap, a nice crease for Heath Evans to go north and south with that 250-pound body.
He got 11. Patriots up 7-0. Fox NFL Sunday continues after these messages and a word from your local Fox station. Saints head coach Jim Haslett in his 6th year as Saints head man. Boy, you got to admire just being able to fight through some of the things this team has had to endure in the aftermath of Hurricane Katrina. Pass on the screen, and he's got plenty of room. He's still moving with a cut inside, 5 yards from pay dirt. He's still going, and pass all the way down to the 1-yard line. Finally brought down by Josh Bullocks. He got 30.
Ronnie, what a great call by Josh McDaniel and Bill Belichick on offense to run this screen, because they're going to catch New Orleans in a full-out blitz with their linebackers coming this side. Pass leaks out. Brady gets it to him. Wide open field for the offensive lineman and the running back. I mean, just catches him just perfect. Screen away from the blitz. You can't draw it up any better than that. All the open real estate. And then it's pass, cutting back against the grain and making it happen, getting down to the 2 or 3 yard line.
As you say, Tim, the perfect call for man coverage. Everyone in the secondary had their back turned.
That's right.
1st and goal. Evans. He'll get the call. Woo, met immediately. Looked like Kobe Bockwalt. Balked him right at the 2.
Yeah, and that's how you feel as a linebacker when you're playing goal line defense. Here's Bockwalt right here, and he is going to meet the running back right in the hole. That's a good fill.
Perfect.
Wraps up, doesn't stop his feet, and then able to get some help and get the guy down to the ground.
2nd and goal pass, and that's a touchdown. Mike Vrabel, he's done this before from the tight end position.
What did we just say about Colby Bockwalt filling the hole? This time it gets him in play action. You're going to see him fill the hole again on the run. Watch Bockwalt here, fill it. Vrabel's going to get right out behind him for an easy touchdown. Once again, the play action caught the New Orleans Saints being over-aggressive, and you get the linebacker out there and Vrabel playing some tight end for his first touchdown of the year.
All 6 of his touchdowns have come from that same type of play from the tight end position. And the New England Patriots add another one early here in the 2nd quarter. The more you can do, huh?
Fox NFL Sunday is sponsored by Cadillac. Introducing the new 2006 DTS Cadillac Breakthrough. By the City Simplicity Credit Card. City, live richly. By Verizon Wireless, it's the network. And by Miller Lite. On your next beer run, grab some great tasting, less filling Miller Lite. Miller, good call.
Quick look at the scoring drive set up by that beautiful screenplay.
Oh.
And it's probably a moot point right now, but the Patriots are 24-5 since 2003 when scoring first. Aaron Stecker at the 1. Stecker had a lane for a second, then he's brought down quickly. Chad Brown, the veteran Chad Brown from the Seattle Seahawks on the tackle. 14-0 Patriots. Let your Thanksgiving Day begin with NFL action. Fox style, the Falcons taking on the Detroit Lions. Michael Vick will try to make his first Thanksgiving here on Fox a memorable one. Coverage starts at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Time with America's #1 pregame show. That's always a good one. Aaron Brooks has to get his team going. Pressure. Gets away from Wilfork, throws it downfield, and it's incomplete. A marker's down. We'll check the infraction from Gerald Austin.
Be surprised if it's not a hold on Dan Carney, it looked like. Trying to hold on Roosevelt Colvin, trying to keep him out of Aaron Brooks' face. Mike Carney, excuse me, the fullback.
Austin and his crew discussing it.
He gets him. I think it's doesn't look like a big hold to me as he's trying to get a hold of Colvin here. Here's Mike Carney. Here's Colvin coming around the edge.
Boy, look at Wilford come through there, yeah.
Either that or maybe a high-low.
There's no foul on the play.
Okay.
A potential chop block. The player that was going low had slipped. He hit it to thigh and went on down. That is not a foul. Second down.
Well, and that's what happens. See, in the passing game, you can't high-low a defender. In other words, one guy can't take him high and another guy can't chop him out. You can do it in the running game, not in the passing game. If you're going to do it, you've got to start high, as it looked like Joe did there, and then worked himself down on the defender. But you cannot high-low, Ronnie, against the pass rusher in the passing game as a protector.
Saints looking at a 2nd and 10. Hilton in motion. Quick throw outside to Hilton. He'll turn it up. And not much. Michael Stone in on the initial hit. And there's a look at the NFC South and why Jim Haslett just wants to get that first win going in the division.
You know what, though? As bad as it's been, and they're 2-7, they're 1-1 in the division. Remember, they opened the season with that big win at Carolina.
Right.
For the 5 final games this year will all be in the division. So this team certainly is not out of the playoff race. Ronnie, you win your division, you're obviously in the playoffs.
They got the first win in the division week 1. Fresh off the Katrina catastrophe up in Carolina. Brooks on 3rd down, trying to buy time, and just pretty much gives that one away. And that'll bring on the punting unit for the Saints. Saints in trouble early here.
Roosevelt Colvin getting in the mix, and maybe that's the guy defensively they need to start rushing more. I mean, if there's anything, you talk about the pass defense being down and their numbers not being very good. Lack of pass rush has been a big thing for this team all year. I think the more they send Roosevelt Colvin off the edge, the more they'll get pressure on opposing quarterbacks.
Dwight on the run for this one, and he gets it on the run. It's going to be a good return. Tim Dwight moves it all the way up to the Saints' 42-yard line. 38-yard punt, 23-yard return. And we've talked about the Saints and, of course, the aftermath of Hurricane Katrina. They've changed facilities 5 times.
Getting ready to change again in about 2 weeks.
Deuce McAllister injured, torn ACL in the Green Bay game. And Saints owner Tom Benson got into it a little bit with the media crew down in New Orleans and a couple fans. A lot of pressure, a lot of questions. What will happen to the team? Where will they play next year? And we have to speculate what will happen with Jim Haslett. What is he thinking right now? 1st and 10. Evans. And Evans will have a couple. Bockwalt on the tackle.
And I think the reasons for this 2-7 record, I mean, it's been self-destruction. You have the 27 takeaways, 12 of those interceptions, more drop passes than anybody in the National Football League, and then the penalties at critical times. This team has shot themselves in the foot and self-destructed and then lost some real tight games at the end. And then I think you got to go back to that St. Louis game. You got to go to the Atlanta game. They think officials had something to do with the outcome of those two ball games. Mentally, I think those two losses took their toll on this football team.
5 yards for Evans on the first play. Won't get much there. Sullivan along with McKinnon on the tackle.
Here's Tom Brady getting the snap from Hochstein, the center, who's in there for Dan Copen. Remember, Copen lost for the year, put on injured reserve. He got hurt last week with a shoulder injury. And they tell us that Hochstein, Bill Belichick, they don't have any worries about this guy. He's a practice squad guy here for a while. They feel like as he gets in there at center, he brings good depth. And there shouldn't be a big drop-off with 71 making the snap.
3rd and 3, pass, goes in motion, sets up outside. Another throw to Ben Watson. And Watson has just ravaged the Saints inside.
Well, and he's beat him deep a couple times, right? He's gotten behind the linebackers, and these linebackers are worried about that. They're going to get back. Watch Watson come here just past the sticks, put the brakes on, turn around, catch the football for a first down. See, linebackers aren't going to get beat deep by the tight end again, so he breaks it off short. It's all he needed on the stop route for the first down. And look at Tom's eyes. Looking right the whole way, knowing he's coming back to the left.
4 catches for 66 yards for Watson. And Watson, his hit initially looked like Brian Young inside on the hit. Excuse me, that's Evans who takes the hit.
And Ben Watson, Ron, coming off of a 2-touchdown performance last week in Miami. His first game with 2 TDs has been all over the place. And they found him outside, they found him inside. It's been integral to the success of the 14 points here. Big part of moving that ball down the field for Tom Brady.
2nd and 10. Pressure outside, fumble. Looks as though the Patriots recovered. Let's see. Hard to tell. No, it's Saints ball.
Boy, and Will Smith right around Nick Kazzer. Will Smith has got like Freeney-type speed out on the edge. Number 91, he's right here. He's like a 4.4 40 guy. He's just going to press the corner, work on a half a man, get around Kazzer, get a sack and a forced fumble, bat that baby out of there. Big-time play by Will Smith.
Fox NFL Sunday is sponsored by General Motors.
A much-needed turnover for the New Orleans Saints. Will Smith coming around that outside, and he's got the speed to do it, and that's why it was a much-needed turnover. You can see they're last in the NFL in the turnover ratio, -13.
Yep, Bockwalt came up with it in terms of the fumble recovery, and now it's up to Aaron Brooks, and I think a running game. They got to pound it right at New England to give that defense a little bit of rest. They've been on the field a lot so far in this game, that being the Saints defense. They've got to run this football right at him here.
They run it inside. That's Aaron Stecker. Got a flag down. At first, I thought the Patriots are going to come with the corner blitz.
Illegal hands to the face. Number 25 of the defense. 5 yards from the end of the run. Automatic first down.
That's Artrell Hawkins.
Back to the turnover. Here's Will Smith coming around the corner, just using his leverage and his speed, and just seeing that ball and just chopping it out of there. And, of course, Bockwalt able to come up with the return after Brian Young gets a piece of it there. But that's just good. I mean, you look at Will Smith at 6'1", at 275, 280 pounds. He is a different cat to try to block now with that explosion coming off the corner. Nick Kazzer will have his hands full with Will Smith all day long.
And you just saw our graphic there. It's one thing to get the turnovers, but the Saints can't do anything once they get them. Pass inside, complete. Joe Horn, and Joe Horn gets moving. Horn is close to the Patriot 30-yard line.
How much zip do you think is on this football, considering it got someone got a piece of it?
You could hear it
at the line of scrimmage. Joe Horn is going to go sit down right in the middle of 3 defenders in this zone defense. This ball is tipped. It still has velocity to get to him. Oh, man.
Bad decision by Asante Samuel.
Very bad decision to try to jump up and undercut it. But look at
Go get it.
Seymour got a piece of that. Joe's waiting for it, and it still has enough zip to get there. Big-time arm from Aaron Brooks.
And a big-time catch for Joe Horn, who's been very quiet, battling injuries the last couple weeks. They need him to figure into this offense. They'll go back to the ground game with Smith. And the Patriots, we talked about their injuries. 7 different players have started at safety this year at strong safety, 20 different defensive back combinations. I mean, that's a credit to Bill Belichick and his ability to just plug guys in and make it work.
And you think about it, I mean, Tyrone Poole gone. Ty Law leaves at the end of last year. Randall Gay, who took over his spot, now on injured reserve. They get Dwayne Starks, now on injured reserve. When you look at the time of possession, and again, that tells me that this New Orleans team has to continue to try to pound it a little bit to help out their defense.
They go with the boot. There's a tight end, but he doesn't pull the trigger. Forces it. And then it's incomplete. Boy, that was... He threw that in the direction of 4 Patriots. Looks as though he had Hilton on the initial boot, but he didn't go there.
Well, and here's Lamont Hall, and here's Zach Hilton with a double stack with the tight end. They're both going to get out. Look at the pursuit by Colvin getting in Aaron's face. He did have him. I don't know why he didn't go to him.
Throw the ball.
He had him. It looked like he was waiting for somebody to clear at the second level. Nobody ever showed up, and then he had to just unload it. You know, I don't know how much confidence really Aaron's got in Zachary Hilton, because we've seen him go to him a lot this year. More times than not, Zach Hilton has dropped the football.
3rd and 5. Plenty of time. No rush whatsoever. And Brooks throws it away. You know, it has to be a coverage sack.
It is, but there's one criticism of Aaron Brooks that I've had from all along since he got here in the National Football League, is he fades backwards anytime his guys aren't open. And his guys weren't open. It's good coverage all the way down the field. But I think Aaron needs to turn and threaten the other way. The more he fades backwards, the more he does not give his receivers an opportunity to come and make a play. You see, he's now basically given up on the play because he's backpedaling. You can't make plays down the field, Ronnie, when you're backpedaling away from the defense.
Or take off and run with it. This is a 4th and 5. The Saints are 1 for 6 on 4th down this year. Pressure, throw, incomplete, knocked away by Hobbs. And the rookie gets his dance on. Aaron Brooks a little slow to get up. He took one upside the head.
Yeah, Willie McGinnis coming unblocked on Aaron Brooks. Ronnie, here's the big hit by Willie McGinnis, who's right here. He's going to come the corner, but watch Vrabel. He's got his hand down. Jamal Brown at this point thinks he's got to block down. Vrabel's going to stand up, move out, and now Jamal Brown blocks down. Didn't have to. Nobody's able to kick out on Willie McGinnis, a free shot at the quarterback.
Ronald McKinnon won't let Patrick pass, get the corner. And there's a look at Brooks' numbers. We said earlier in the year that we'd like to see Aaron Brooks run more. He told us last night, you know, I'm trying to run less. I want to stay in the pocket.
If you think about it, he's running for almost 7 yards a carry this year, 220 yards rushing. And I agree with him. I mean, it's much easier to throw it and catch it than it is to run it. But if you're going to be a pocket passer and throw it, to me, you got to stay in the pocket. Fading backwards isn't how you get it done.
Fake to Evans, down the middle of the field to Branch, and it's overthrown. Give the credit to McKinnon for running up the passing lane, as we say.
Always talk about those linebackers getting depth when offenses are trying to challenge the middle of the field. You see Branch come in motion out to the slot. And you're exactly right about the depth by Ronald McKinnon. Brady had to put a little air under that ball to get it over McKinnon's hands. Therefore, it was over Branch's hands as well.
Brady was 8 of 9 before that incompletion. Saints faking blitz. They may come with it. They do come with it. Corner blitz outside. One-on-one, looking for Dwight. Incomplete. And Thomas wanted a push-off from Dwight, but he won't get it. But he will get the incompletion and a punting situation.
This right here looks like a Bill Belichick blitz. You're going to see guys crossing this way. You're going to see Dwight Smith come in completely unblocked and get a nice hit on Tom Brady.
Smith,
see, nobody blocks him, and good job by him holding up on the quarterback. Nice coverage by Fred out on the out route.
Fred made him throw the tough one. And remember, these two teams played in the preseason. Jim Haslett said he had a couple things that they felt worked pretty good, and they were going to try to do them again today. I think that may have been one of them.
I think that was one of Belichick's blitzes, to be honest with you.
First punt today from Miller. Az-Zahir Hakim trying to dance, and he gets back to about the 26-yard line. 54 yards on the punt. Don't forget, double-header action coming up next Sunday. Giants and Seahawks, Packers, and the Eagles. Jim Haslett questioning the flag.
I think it was holding on the New Orleans Saints on the return team trying to get that football. They're just going to move them back closer to their goal line with their backs against the wall.
Saints averaging 9 penalties per game. That's the most in the NFC, third most in the NFL. Second one today. They go with the delayed draw. And Smith has been met by a lot of blue jerseys inside so far.
As soon as they can get him moving sideways, he's done. He is a downhill runner. As soon as he starts to chop step a little bit, that pursuit can get to him. Boy, what a different team without Deuce McAllister in the lineup.
Think?
Out for the year against Green Bay, torn ACL in his knee, and they haven't won a game since. And look at through the career what the numbers are without Deuce out there.
Under that knee, week 5 versus Green Bay. He just signed a 7-year contract extension. The Saints' all-time leading rusher, and they miss it. 2nd and 8. Looking for the quick out to Stallworth, and Stallworth fighting for the first down, and he gets it. Working on Asante Samuel.
Asante Samuel comes up in press coverage and then bails at the last minute. You'll see him here now. He's going to start to bail out. As he does, Stallworth just runs an out route enough for the first down. See, just as Asante starts to bail, Dante Stallworth says, I'm going to run a little out. Now it's all about who's going to fight for the first down. Stallworth with enough athleticism to get around Samuel past the first down line.
2 first down catches today for Stallworth. Smith, not much.
Well, that's an example of the kind of runner that Antoine Smith is. I mean, he just wants to get it and go north and south up the football field. Mike Carney got in his way that time. It didn't matter. He blew up the back end of the fullback. Pretty good runner now. And that guy's a pretty good blocker. And Mike Carney, I think year 2 for him as a pro, Ronnie. And I think they still miss Terrell Smith. It's been a while since he's been here as a fullback. But Carney, since he came in as a rookie, has been a pretty good lead blocker whoever they've had at tailback.
2nd down and 6. Brooks in trouble, pressure, sack. Willie McGinnis has been in the backfield all day long, and he gets his sack.
And Willie's going to come around the rookie, Jamal Brown here. They get pretty good push up inside. Aaron's got nowhere to go, and this allows Willie to get himself the sack. See, Aaron's trying to get up inside the pocket, can't do anything because of the good push. And Willie able to get a sack on the quarterback. McGinnis having a heck of a football game here in this first half against the Saints today. We visited with him on Saturday.
Known to come in the vicinity about 5:30 a.m. In fact, it's a contest to see who can come in the earliest.
Who can cut the lights on.
A throw down the middle, and it's caught. Hakeem, and Hakeem is going to run. Hakeem all the way down to the Patriots' 40-yard line.
When he gets Asante Samuel, it looked like from up here, spun around. You're going to see Oz come out of the slot. He's going to go outside and then come back inside. See, he runs the out. Samuel gets turned around completely. Can't stay with him. Then Oz-Hakeem able to do some damage after he catches the football. That's all that punt returning skill coming into play. Very, very good at that early in his career. He gets the ball in his hands. He's dangerous in space now to be able to run.
What did Aaron say? I wish I had him about 4 years earlier. A chop down on Stecker. Samuel coming up and forcing the run very nicely, but a marker goes down.
Heck of a job by Chad Brown out there as well.
Number 70 in the offense. 10 yards, repeat first down.
And I think this is going to be against Chad Brown, who's lined up at left defensive end on Jamal Brown. Pretty good job holding the point. And you always talk about a defensive end. You want to hold that point to the numbers. There's Chad Brown right here. He's got the tight end on him. Let's watch Jamal Brown with the hold. See, he's got outside the frame on Chad Brown right there. Gets the call. Boom. Nice job by Chad, though, stringing it out so his corner can come up and make that force play like you talked about.
Well, Tim, from looking at the film, you're going to have a hard time running the perimeters on this team just because they are so disciplined and they understand where they fit.
And that's where Chad does his thing on the perimeter. I'll tell you, Teddy Bruschi coming back has allowed Chad Brown to get back to the outside where he can flash in and make plays.
The deep comeback, but it's thrown too late. Intended for Joe Horn. Hobbs on the coverage. And the pressure today on Aaron Brooks, you see there. Blitzed 12 times already here in the first half.
And what do we talk about coming in? More pressure by New England up front, especially on the edges. Roosevelt Colvin has done some good stuff today in the face of Aaron Brooks, and Willie McGinnis, as you just saw a couple of plays ago with the sack, has been everywhere. So that's the element that I think has been missing with this defense is significant pressure on the corners. Today they've been able to get it.
2nd and 20. Screen. Stecker couldn't get out, and he's screaming face mask. Stecker tried to get out for the screen. They held him up, but no marker went down.
Looked like Seymour did grab him by the face mask. Watch Seymour here. He's going to penetrate, and as Stecker's trying to get out, he just reaches out and grabs him by the face guard. Watch this.
Come here, son.
I don't think you're going anywhere. And got away with one there. Gerald Austin, look where his eyes are. Looked like he was blocked maybe from the back of Aaron Brooks, so he was not able to see that face mask by Richard Seymour on Stecker.
Seymour's second game back after missing 4 with a bad knee. A much welcomed addition to this defense. 3rd and 20. Short throw inside of Stecker. Stecker, he'll have a shot, and Stecker will pick up the first down. Nice play. He got away from 2, broke a tackle from Bruschi, and hammered it through for the first.
Well, what Brewski's trying to do is he's trying to show a blitz, and he gets up there and gets stuck inside, and he can't stay with Stecker in man coverage. See, he's just going to show blitz. Now he's going to try to run with the tailback.
2-minute warning.
Good spot by Aaron, getting it to him. Stecker had the advantage and the leverage, able to pull away for a big first down.
That's the 2-minute warning. Saints knocking at the door again.
Fox NFL Sunday is sponsored by Hummer. Check out the new H3. Hummer, like nothing else.
Coming up next, it's the Visa Halftime Report. JB, Terry, Howie, and Jimmy will be along from Los Angeles to get you caught up on all the scores, highlights, and action from around the league. Plus, the Fox Sports Ticker will have the up-to-the-second stats. It's all coming up next on the Visa Halftime Report. Bangor, huh?
Go Pats.
17 first downs today by both teams. 16 of those have been passing. Only 1 rushing first down.
I'll tell you the difference in this game, quite simply, is the tight end. New England has been making plays. New Orleans has been non-existent.
First play under the 2-minute. Pressure, backside wide open, Stecker. Stecker smells the end zone. He's brought down inside the 10-yard line by a hustle on Vrabel. They brought the corner on the backside and paid for it on the front side.
Yeah, they brought a bunch of guys right there. And Aaron Stecker, it was a busted coverage somewhere. Aaron was able to find him. And then again, as I talked about, Aaron Stecker in the open field is lethal now. He can be dangerous.
5th completion today by Brooks of over 20 yards. He had a very high number coming into the game. When they get their pass plays, they usually come in chunks. 1st and goal. Stecker alone in the backfield. Throw inside to Stallworth, touchdown Saints, but a flag is down in the Saints backfield. That could be a late hit on Brooks.
Michael Stone bringing the pressure on Brooks. Oh yeah, helmet to helmet.
Roughing the passer, number 24 on the defense. 15 yards on the kickoff.
Watch Stone come helmet to helmet. Pow, right there. As Aaron got rid of the football, he was trying to hold up. You still can't butt him with your head, helmet to helmet. Aaron's still able to hang in there with a bailout throw and find Stallworth on the slant route. Good work.
A big day for Stallworth in his contract year, but a bigger day for that man. He's just tied Archie Manning's franchise record with 115 passing touchdowns. Carney adds another one, and the Saints keep it close here in the first half.
Ronnie, here's the play that set it up. New Orleans caught New England in a blitz. Guys coming this way. You'll see Dante Stallworth run off the corner with his deep route. Stecker out here wide open in the flat. There's nobody around him. Just caught him perfectly in that blitz. And then look at all the open real estate for Stecker. Vrabel with a touchdown-saving tackle. But then Stallworth makes it happen on the next play. Look at the cushion by Asante Samuel. Stallworth will get the easy inside leverage, and Aaron fires a strike for the touchdown. I mean, big cushion right there. You got a guy running an in route, and you're 2 yards deep in the end zone and waiting for him. You want to be a little more aggressive as a cornerback there in the money zone.
We said a big day for Stallworth. 3 catches, 42 yards. And they've all come for either first downs or touchdowns.
He's done that all year. You look at the number of first downs he's picked up with his receptions. Pretty big number for him.
And they'll just watch this one go into the end zone. A nice kick by Mitch Berger, the punter. He puts it into the end zone. And a nice drive. But the most important point about that drive, the points, the 7 points at the end of it.
Absolutely, and don't underestimate that big hit from Stone on Brooks, which got called helmet to helmet.
Good point.
Because that allowed Berger to kick from the 45-yard line, punched it into the end zone. Now New England will start on the 20, giving that defense some help with 80 yards behind them.
Coming in,
They'll start it off with a draw. Evans with a huge gash. He takes it all the way out to the 40-yard line.
Caught the defensive tackles splitting up inside, and a beautiful call. 2 pass rushers on the interior, both take the outside gaps, opens it wide open inside, and Evans able to exploit it with a big run up the gut.
Patriots call timeout.
Ron, as defensive tackles, somebody's got to have an inside rush into an A-gap there. Neither defensive tackle here does that. They both go outside, and look at the hole for Heath Evans. Can't do that as a defensive tackle.
Zone coverage, they dump it off. A nice swat by Evans, and Evans moves the ball across the 50.
What has gotten into Heath Evans?
I don't know. I think being cut by Miami
maybe
really got him going.
Well, what did Mike Holmgren tell us a couple of years ago when he was there as their 3rd-round pick? He said, this dude is a tailback trapped in a fullback's body.
He was cut by Miami after 6 games this year. He's been on fire, wide open. Tim Dwight, and Dwight can't bring it in.
Well, and it's just all speed right here for Tim Dwight, who's got plenty of it. He's in the slot on Fred Thomas, and he's just going to run by him. Tom just overthrows it just a little bit as Dwight lays out for it. And again, one he could have caught.
You know, it looked like Fred Thomas thought he had help inside. He jumped the trail and played the outside, but that help was late. 38 seconds left. The Patriots have 1 timeout. Play clock running down. Going deep to Davis. He's got a step on McKenzie. An underthrown ball nearly intercepted.
Ronnie, this is what we call a 9 route or a takeoff route. Outside, down the sideline, and this ball is just underthrown. Andre Davis is a speedster, and he's got McKenzie by a step down the sideline. No jam by McKenzie. Now Davis is going to take off. He's got to sit and wait on the football.
Oh, boy.
And McKenzie able to recover and come back and almost get himself a pick.
Brady puts that one towards the pylon. They might have a shot.
Needed to throw it sooner, deeper, and a little bit wider outside the numbers.
3rd and 10. Man-to-man coverage. Pressure, sack. Charles Grant gets his 2nd sack of the year.
He just runs right by Steve Neal. Here's Charles Grant right here. They're all going to push out. He's going to run by the right offensive guard, Neal. He's going to sink that rip in and then just explode to Tom Brady, who had nowhere to go because Will Smith and other guys up in his grill as well.
2 sacks today for the New Orleans Saints. Timeout is called with 5 seconds left. Don't forget the Visa halftime report coming your way in about 5 seconds. 2.5 sacks on the year officially. Now for Charles Grant. Miller will punt it away. A low line driver. No one deep for the New Orleans Saints. And they'll let that one expire the first half. And that is the end of the first half. And the Patriots jumped out early. And they'll hold the lead by 7. Stay tuned for the Visa halftime report from the guys in the studio and a message from your local Fox station. We're at the half, 14-7 New England. Welcome to the broadcast booth once again. Ron Pitts, Tim Ryan, and I've got the stats on Tom Brady right here. 12 of 19, 143, 2 touchdowns, but Aaron Brooks is showing up too.
Well, Aaron Brooks, both quarterbacks have played well. I think if you look at it, Tom Brady in this game, he has spread it out all over the place. I mean, he has found his guys. He's found his tight ends. He's found Dion Branch. He found Mike Vrabel for a touchdown. He has thrown 2 touchdowns. I think there's one thing to look at, though. With all the early success for him in this game, New Orleans did start to get some pressure on him in that second quarter as the half started to wind down and started to challenge him a little more than they did early in the game.
Meanwhile, Aaron Brooks, 10 of 21 for 160 and 1 touchdown. Stuttered a little bit early, but he seemed to get it together, and thank goodness for Dante Stallworth.
No doubt. Aaron Brooks has got a big arm, Ronnie, and he showed that in the first half. And when he hasn't been under pressure, he's been able to make it happen and take advantage of a defense that is worrisome about their inability to cover up on that back end. And you could see Aaron was able to pick it apart with Joe Horn, with Dante Stallworth, finding different guys. And then the pressure started to get to him. And the more the pressure started to get into his face, the less success he started to have. And I would tell you this, if they don't pressure him, New England, in the second half of this game, Aaron Brooks will have a big afternoon.
And following up on that, I would think that the Saints need to be a little more blitz conscious, too, because he took some shots. One was called, but they are, like you say, getting pressure on it.
No doubt. And then I think if you look at it, the real difference has been Benjamin Watson. I mean, the tight end has been everywhere in this football game for his quarterback, Tom Brady. That's an area defensively, if you're New Orleans, you've got to get it figured out, because this guy showed up on film, Ben Watson, from just the game last week with 2 touchdowns. And so far today, the New Orleans Saints defensively have done nothing to slow him down.
Working down the middle of the field, in between the numbers, as we like to say, and that really all starts at the line of scrimmage. If you don't jam, if you don't reroute, disturb the release, you're going to have problems in that area as we look at the first half numbers.
And again, neither team has been able to run the ball very, very good. Heath Evans has done a couple of nice things since he's gotten in there. A nice turnover on the sack by Will Smith, knocking it out of the hands of Tom Brady. But again, I think clearly the difference has been the tight end. And Ben Watson has made a big difference for his football team. Aaron Brooks has had nothing really from his tight ends. And that's been the story of the first half of the game.
There's a look at your fantasy stats and Tom Brady's numbers. We talked about that. Heath Evans showing up out of nowhere once again. For the latest in fantasy stats, log on to foxsports.com on MSN.
I think if you look at the second half of this game, the deciding factor is going to be who can rush the passer better. Because both secondaries having issues with the wide receivers. Both quarterbacks clearly have issues when they've got guys in their face. And both teams in the first half got after the quarterback pretty good. So who's able to continue to keep it going in terms of the pass rush up front defensively will probably end up being a telltale sign towards the end of this game, Ronnie.
Let's go down to the third member of our crew today, Butch Stearns, for this report.
You know, Ronnie and Tim, it's funny, we're talking about pressure on the quarterback. I just spoke to both Jim Haslett and Bill Belichick, and they both mentioned the same two things. Whoever pressures their other quarterback better in the second half, and whoever can convert on third downs and get off the field on third downs is going to win this game. That's what they both had to say.
All right, Butch, thanks a lot, man. It's all about the pressure. And the Saints doing a pretty good job of keeping the pressure on the Patriots here at home. A place where they have been traditionally very, very solid.
And you know, historically, especially this year, but you look at New Orleans, they play up to the competition, it seems like, all the time. And as I said earlier in the game, New England at times this year has played down to the competition. This has been a very evenly matched football game.
A short kick taken by Ellis Hobbs, and Hobbs is popped immediately. Taken down by Fred Thomas at about the 30-yard line. You can hear that one all the way up here. Who says guys 5'9" can't hit?
Fast Freddy isn't just fast. You get all up in your kitchen a little bit.
So Tom Brady will start things off here fresh in the second half. Put together a very nice drive in the first half. Went 98 yards and 16 plays and capped it off with a touchdown. Evans with a lane, and then it closes up. Nice scrape there by Willie Whitehead, the defensive tackle. He got 3. Saints starting to get a little chatter going.
Yeah, I'll tell you, you want to know how to stop that chatter if you're New England, and I've seen less of it this year than in years past, the no-huddle offense. We saw it some against Miami last week. They had great success with it. You get those guys defensively back on their heels a little bit, limit some of their personnel groupings. You're able to achieve that with the no-huddle.
2nd and 7. They flip the flare out, intended for pass, and maybe it's a good thing pass didn't catch that pass because he would have taken a shot by Cedric Hodge.
Cedric Hodge was definitely ready to get up and hit him square in the mouth coming out on that flare pass. Going to be a big third down here for New Orleans. If they can find a way to get a stop, get off the football field, and continue with some of that momentum they were able to grab in the second quarter. Keep your eye on Will Smith. He has been a load all day long, rushing the edge.
Gun formation, 3rd and 7. Saints are showing a man-to-man look. They stay man-to-man. Deep comeback, there it is. Dion Branch. And you know what that is? That's just execution on the route.
That's recognition and what your guy's doing and giving you the outside. And then watch Tom Brady step up just enough in the pocket. Grant coming from the outside, Will Smith coming from the outside. Tom takes 2 steps up, still has the timing to fire the comeback route to Dion Branch. You can't run a better comeback than that.
Boy, not a lot of wasted steps by either player there.
In and out of his break, like it wasn't even there.
And the delivery was right when it was supposed to be. Davis has a chance. And he's overthrown.
Well, they've certainly taken their shots deep today.
Well, that's what you have to do, and I don't think we see that enough from some teams around the NFL.
I think you have to give your guys a chance, and you see single safety high, you have to try to attack it. But I think also, and if you watch this New England team and how they operate offensively, they're trying to stretch that defense to set some things up over the middle for their tight ends who have had a lot of success in this game. So you're achieving 2 things. If you don't get it, you're still stretching the defense and making those guys think a little bit.
They'll run it from the I formation pass, and he got a couple. And a lot of talking going on out there. Charles Grant is in on it along with Smith coming up late.
Well, I think what you want to do if you're New Orleans, especially coming into an AFC city, and every one of these guys to a man said we have got to be more physical than they are at the point of attack. Because if you let the New England Patriots or a lot of the upper echelon teams in the AFC feel that they have an advantage over you physically, it's going to be a long afternoon.
And that's one thing that Charles Grant said we can do coming up here. We think we can be physical. But you know, NFC guys always think they can out-physical AFC guys. I think that's tradition. 3rd and 8. Pressure, sack. Will Smith, you talked about that, Tim, along with Tony Bryant. And now the fight as to who gets the sack.
Well, Bryant's probably going to get it. He's right here. He's going to press the B gap between the guard and the tackle And then Will Smith coming from the edge over here. Let's see who touches him first. Oh, I think that's going to be Tony Bryant. Got his right hand before Will Smith. Got his right hand on the quarterback before Will Smith was able to get Tom Brady within his grasp as well.
Key possession there for the Saints on defense, forcing the turnover on downs. Miller punts it away, a high kick. Oz takes it rather reluctantly on the bounce. He'll secure it at about the 24-yard line. 41 yards on the punt. New England by 7.
Fox NFL Sunday is sponsored by Southwest Airlines, proud sponsor of the NFL and official airline of Super Bowl 40.
And a look at the World Championships. 3 Super Bowl wins in the last 4 years. Jim Haslett isn't concerned with any of that right now. He's trying to get a win here in Foxborough. Smith. And it's been dirty and ugly all day like that for Smith.
Ron, we talked about the sack, and they're able to get it here around the corner and here. That's good stuff. But I want you to watch the coverage across the board. All these guys manned up. Tom Brady had nowhere to go with the football. And that's just outstanding coverage on the back end, which allows that pressure by Bryant, by Will Smith to get there and get themselves another sack.
3 yards for Smith, 2nd and 7. Throw outside and it's caught, and that'll be a first down. Stalwart. A quick look at the first half possessions. Started out kind of slim. In fact, the first 3 drives, they only got 46 yards, but the last 2, 123 yards and a touchdown.
That's right. And this one, they were down there threatening, decided to go for it on 4th down, and then, of course, the Stallworth touchdown at the end of the second quarter. And a little slant route and a little in route in front of Asante Samuel.
And, Tim, they're picking on this secondary. They've been able to find things.
People have done it all year long, Ronnie.
Yeah. They'll go back to the run game. And it'll be about another 2 for Antoine Smith.
Watch Mike Vrabel take on this isolation block by Mike Carney. Here's Carney here. Here's Vrabel here. These guys are going to meet in the line at the line of scrimmage for a big collision. It's going to force Antoine Smith back inside. Vrabel still able to peel off and make the tackle. This guy was a perfect fit when he got here day 1 from Pittsburgh. And he didn't play a lot in Pittsburgh now. He's just such a rangy football player. I mean, he gets you sacks, gets you interceptions, leads the defense in tackles. He's perfect for a Belichick-style defense.
They'll hand it off. Smith nearly broke that one. Someone got a hand on him at the last minute. That could have been a long one. He got 5. It'll bring up a 3rd down.
You saw the isolation play there by Vrabel meeting the fullback head up in the hole. Asked Teddy Bruschi the other day when we talked to him on Friday. I said, have they tested you? I mean, since you came back from the stroke and you're back on the field and this is your 4th game, have you had a real snot knocker yet? I mean, one right in your grill where you really felt it. He said, first practice back, first day, isolation play, right in his face, called by Coach Peace, the linebacker coach.
He said, we got to get you ready.
We got to test you. First play now.
Here's the test for the Saints, 3rd and 3. Brooks wisely doesn't throw the out. Plenty of time. Avoids Seymour, looking for a block and a comeback. And it's there.
He got it.
It's there. Joe Horn with the nice comeback route, and that's another first down for the Saints.
And this is all Aaron Brooks, and this is what I was talking about earlier. If he starts to retreat this way, backwards, he can't get this comeback route. He breaks contain, now starts pressing it towards the line of scrimmage.
Boy,
if your deep comes shallow, that's a scramble drill. That's exactly what Joe Horn did. And Aaron Brooks keeping it alive with his feet, and with his feet towards the line of scrimmage, able to find Joe Horn for a big first down. And that, to me, is a perfect example of when Aaron backs up, how he takes himself out of the play versus challenging the defense by threatening the line of scrimmage.
A marker's down. Brooks on the run, looking for the sidelines. And he's run out of bounds just beyond the 50-yard line, but a marker is down back upfield.
It's like in the area of holding. Teddy Bruschi came on a blitz up inside.
Holding, number 44 of the offense, 10 yards. Repeat first down.
It's Mike Carney.
And that's exactly who Mike Carney was trying to block, is Teddy Bruschi coming on the blitz from the inside linebacker spot. Here's Carney here. He'll come up and try to get Bruschi, who's going to flash right in here. And he'll end up grabbing him with what looks like his right arm. See, Bruschi goes with a little arm over there, a little swim move. Carney has no choice but to grab him. And that's what you were talking about with Bruschi in terms of getting his groove back, getting his football legs underneath him. You can be in great shape, and he was physically down when he came back, but it's that football shape you got to play some games before you start to find your way.
1st and 20, screen. Look at Wilfork run. And Smith is out of bounds at about the 45-yard line. A flag goes down. Big Vince was on the move.
Big Vince can roll for 340 at nose tackle, can he?
He didn't make the play, but
he's active too now. I think he's second on the team in tackles. Big Vince Wilfork.
yes, he is.
At the nose guard position.
Illegal use of hands, number 64 of the offense, 10 yards. It's still first down.
Kendall Jaycox and the Saints starting to self-destruct a little bit. Look at the numbers. You see the rushing yards.
Most of that Heath Evans.
Right. Late there in the second quarter. Saints. And we've talked about the passing yardage. This defense has been moved on.
There you go.
As we said earlier, Gus Frerotte down in Miami last week in that win over the Dolphins, he threw for 360 yards. First and Boston to go. Brooks on the move. He gets it out to the 32.
Well, I tell you, if you can get pressure rushing 3 guys, it's going to make it mighty difficult for your quarterback to find anybody open down the field. And here Aaron Brooks is going to send out 4 receivers, but there's 8 guys covering him. And if you can get a quick pressure with that 3-man rush, there's absolutely nowhere to go with the ball. And then as soon as you try to run with 8 guys dropping back in coverage, in zone coverage, everybody's got their eyes on the quarterback. They can all break up and make a tackle for a minimum gain.
2nd and 26. Pickable 4. The catch by Hilton, and Hilton may have the first down depending on where they mark it.
That looks like it's going to be a little bit short, but my goodness, what a catch by Hilton and taking a fat shot by Ellis Hobbs. Here's Hilton right here. He's going to get right down inside the numbers. I don't know how he comes up with this ball. Vrabel in man coverage can't stay with him. Hilton gets it and then takes a big shot by Hobbs and still hangs on to the football.
The tallest man on the team.
67.
Zach Hilton, 6'8", 268 pounds. He is definitely a big target.
We have a bad case of whiplash after this game.
The 6th pass play of over 20 yards today for Aaron Brooks on the 3rd and 1. And I think they're short.
Yeah, I do too.
And what does Jim Haslett and the Saints have to lose?
Watch all the Patriots creating a new line of scrimmage and making those fills at the line of scrimmage. Very good job by Vrabel, Wilfork, Seymour, everybody holding up at the point of attack.
They won't go for it.
I think it's a smart move not to go for it. Just past midfield. I mean, they're clearly in this football game. They've got some momentum. Just hope for a good punt by Mitch Berger, who hasn't had his usual big afternoon.
They were denied on the first 4th down attempt. That one nearly blocked. A high kick, fair caught at the 6-yard line by Tim Dwight. 37 yards on the punt, 14-7 New England.
Fox NFL Sundays, sponsored by the all-new Lexus IS. Why live in one dimension?
You're watching Fox Sports, broadcasting in HD TV and presented by Direct TV. Well, I love the way we do that, man.
That's
the
sweet.
Big plasma.
Yeah, that's sweet.
Right in the stadium. No, that's a big plasma. I can't afford that. 1st and 10 run. Evans. They're starting out on their own 6. You look at the first 2 possessions.
On fire, getting the ball to the tight end, and then the last 3 possessions, you got 41 yards and 3 punts. One of those was a turnover. Tom Brady getting sacked and coughing it up by Will Smith, putting the ball on the ground.
Remember, they already have a 98-yard drive for a touchdown in the first quarter.
The difference has been the pass rush.
There's a throw and a drop right in the hands of the tight end, Christian Fourier.
I really believe that. I think if you look at how this game has gone and how it started out for Tom Brady and really picking the defense apart, using his eyes, using his body language to throw off safeties and linebackers coming back to his open guys, in particular his tight end and Benjamin Watson. But since then, New Orleans has really hunkered down. I think have started to play more press, more man coverage to force Tom Brady to make quicker decisions, which has allowed these guys to get there with the pass rush up front.
3rd down and 8. The toss, the pass. He's going to have to work. He's got a lane and a 1st down. Pass is still moving, pushed out of bounds just before the 40-yard line by Cedric Hodge. A much-needed run.
Well, watch Nick Kazzer. He's going to get out in front and get himself a nice kick-out block, which is going to open it up for pass. Look at that crackback by Andre Davis. Allows Kazzer to get out, then get the kick-out block. You don't draw it up any better than that. That's how you get an edge. You get a very good crackback by your receiver. You get a super kick-out by your tackle, and passes laughing for a big gain.
White working hard there on the perimeter. Play action. Evans going deep. He's got Davis. Touchdown, Patriots. And they've been flirting with that one all day long. 60 yards.
And this isn't the first time we've seen this from the New Orleans defense. Dwight Smith has been somewhat of a liability. Davis is going to go inside. McKenzie's going to let him go, knowing he has safety help behind him in Dwight Smith, and Dwight's not even close. I mean, he turns his hips to run. It's way too late. Andre Davis is a speedster, and Tom Brady finally gets the timing right on that deep ball. And Davis finishes with a little cuff slam over the goalpost.
Traded in this year from Cleveland, re-signed 3 games ago. Cut in training camp. 2nd-round pick from Cleveland back in 2003.
And a good player. I mean, he was in Cleveland all year last year dealing with a bad toe.
And the problem is that Davis, his little alley-oop jam, he twisted the goalpost.
You can't hang on the rim. You can see its twist. Look.
You can't hang on the rim.
Can't hang on the rim, big dog. That's a technical.
What do you think that is, 15? Is there a rule for that yet?
Let's see. Let's see the dunk. Wow.
He got up.
I think he was thinking some of the fellas were going to undercut him. That's why he had to hang on to the rim for a little extra time. Nice hookup down the middle of the field by Tom Brady to Andre Davis.
Vinatieri for the extra. The second 90-plus yard drive for a touchdown by Tom Brady and the Patriots. There's a look at the scoring drive. We set it up. The second from long distance today. And Andre Davis only played in 7 games last year for Cleveland. Only started 7 games. Had 16 catches. But they've been trying to hit the big one all day today, and they got it. Stecker fights his way back up to close to the 30-yard line. You know what? If you got a crooked goalpost, get some rope and straighten the bad boy out.
Fox NFL Sunday is sponsored by Domino's, the delivery experts. Get the door, it's Domino's. By DirecTV. Get DirecTV DVR and record your favorite shows with a touch of a button. By the new Campbell's Chunky Fajita Soups, hearty soups that fill you up right. And by UPS, what can Brown do for you?
Dwight Smith over there on the left. We think he may have bit on play action a little bit.
Well, they've done it all day. I mean, you got an aggressive defense that's had trouble stopping the run. Of course they're going to be aggressive versus a run set. And they've been beat by that play action a few times today.
Check out the scores in the upper right-hand corner of our screen in the Fox box as they hand it off to Aaron Stecker. Let's go back to the touchdown.
And another real good example of play action. You're going to see Andre Davis here running. He's going to run what we call an 8 route, which is an inside takeoff. But what happens is Dwight Smith right here is going to step up because of this play action. He takes 2 steps up. He cannot get his hips turned fast enough to run with Andre Davis. You see that? A couple steps up. Andre Davis gets down the seam. You got no chance to stay with him. He's got too much heat.
All he had to do was catch it, and he did. Brooks has completed his last 6 in a row, going for 7. Looking for his comeback. He'll do it himself. And he'll be about a yard shy of the first down.
He needs to do this as much as he can. I mean, if they're going to bring the blitz and you've got man coverage in the blitz, take off and run the football if there's nobody down the field. Brewski's going to come this way, try to open it up for Colvin underneath. Blocked up pretty well. Aaron's got to escape Willie McGinnis. Now challenge the defense. Get yourself up near the first down stick. That's exactly what he did.
Well, I'm not sure how they marked that one, but they gave him the first down because it looked like he went out of bounds before the stick. Nonetheless, it's 6 yards on the run of the first. Stecker looking for the lane, and Stecker's got a nice run. He got at least 5. Michael Stone inside making the tackle, coming down from the strong safety position. That's good for 6.
I think you still stay committed to the run. You have to if you're New Orleans. Continue to try to pound it a little bit, get your defense some rest, and mix and match some passing game with a balanced attack offensively. You look at that offensive line. I mean, that's a group now. They've built that group to come in and be in front of Deuce McAllister to really lean on the running game. Of course, Deuce goes out week 5. They've ran with Aaron Stecker and Antoine Smith, and have still done a pretty good job.
2nd and 4. That one hit late coming out, looks like, but a flag goes down in the backfield. McGinnis along with Brooks talking to the official.
Personal foul, roughing the passer. Number 55, hands to the face of the quarterback. 15 yards, automatic first down.
They get Willie McGinnis.
Here's Willie right here over at his left end spot. He just reached up to try to get his hands in front of Aaron Brooks to see if he could get a deflection, and then came down and swiped across Aaron's face mask right there. Look, it's a cheap little call, but it's one that's called every time in pro football now.
Nowadays, right.
Can't hit the guy in the headgear. It's real simple. And it's hard for defensive ends. And in their defense, I mean, when you're getting your hands up trying to block a ball, it's hard to make your arms do something after you've already got them up and you tried to get it in front of the football.
They pick up Brewski inside. Another throw and a completion to Hilton, the tight end. And this is definitely a game of the tight ends today.
Well, this is Hilton's best game I've seen him play for the New Orleans Saints. I mean, he's 6'8". He's one of those guys that looks real good getting off the bus. He's tall, he's athletic. But frankly, he hasn't had a lot of catches in games when the opportunity has presented itself. Boo Williams goes down earlier in the year there without Ernie Conwell. And Zach Hilton has come in and provided a nice role today with those 3 catches for Aaron Brooks and the Saints.
Came into the game with only 5 catches for 36 yards. Today he's got 4. That's Stecker.
This is what they want to do. I mean, talking to these guys with their run game, they wanted to pound it right up in the interior between the tackles. I don't think New Orleans felt they could get New England on the edges in the running game. They said what they want to do, if they're going to have success, is just let LaCharles do his thing on Vince Wilfork, man on man, very good matchup, run right up the gut, right at those linebackers. Nice success there getting the first down.
Quarter coming to a close. First down in that run by Stecker. Movement on both sides of the ball.
Ball start, 61 offense, 5 yards, still first down.
Montre Holland. Tim, I'm just amazed, though, that this team, this Saints team, can even come out here and put on this kind of effort. I know they're pros and they get paid and all that stuff, but when you think about what they have gone through and is still going through.
Ronnie, this is the only normalcy that they've got. I mean, every day is something new for this football team. And talking to the guys yesterday, the only normal thing we've got all year is Sundays at 1 o'clock. That's it.
Guys like Jason Kraft saw his wife and kids for the first time during the bye week, the first time since preseason. There's a throw inside and the catch by Joe Horn, and Joe Horn is down to the 20-yard line. Let's go to Los Angeles for this update with James Brown.
Hey, Ron, 17 unanswered by the Atlanta Falcons. Michael Vick hooking up with Algie Crumpler. Terry Bradshaw's favorite tight end with that name. 17-13, Falcons on top. Giants, first touchdown allowed in 51 possessions by the opposition. Mike McMahon hooking up with Reggie Brown, and a field goal now makes it 13-7. Giants back to Ron and Tim.
All right, JB, thank you very much. This will be the end of the quarter. They won't get it off. They're looking at a 2nd and 3. The Patriots 21, the Saints 7. Fox NFL Sunday continues after this. A little Lincoln Park for us here at Gillette Stadium in Foxborough as we head into the 4th and final quarter. And the New Orleans Saints, they fell behind by 14 early on a 2-yard touchdown. Dion Branch and the Mike Vrabel 1-yard touchdown catch. But they came back with a nice touchdown throw to Stallworth, and they put together some nice drives. Double fakes, looking for the end zone. Everybody's covered. Back down, and it's caught by Stallworth. Check that. That's Aaron Stecker.
Aaron wanted Joe Horn right across the goal line, but what he sees, you're going to see Joe take off here and get right in front of the goal line, but Aaron wisely sees the safety sitting right there and doesn't pull the trigger. See, he thought he had him there, then that safety gets enough depth. He's got to pull it down and find the comeback for the first down. Good work by Aaron Brooks.
Patriots giving up a lot in the red zone. They've allowed 32 scores in 34 red zone possessions. That's the worst in the NFL. 1st and 10, back down, Wilfork.
And here's the numbers, and this one to me is the biggest difference because New England has run the football just enough to really threaten those linebackers and safeties with play action, and that's how they've been able to score and get the ball in the end zone through the passing game is because of that play action.
And that incompletion there breaks a string of 9 completions in a row by Aaron Stecker. Excuse me, by Aaron Brooks. They'll go to Stecker. Stecker pounding, trying to get down to the 5-yard line. He's going to come up about 2 yards shy.
I think when you've got a lack of a consistent pass rush all year, and Seymour hasn't been out there, Bruschi hasn't been out there, and you've got injuries in the back end, look at what the problems have been down in the red zone with their backs against the wall. Teams have been able to take advantage of them in terms of getting the ball in the end zone with touchdowns.
They've given up 1 touchdown today in the red zone. 3rd and 6. Brooks looking for somebody to throw to, and it's knocked away. Looked as though Wilson may have gotten a hand on it. There were 2 Patriots in the area intended for Joe Horn.
You can see all the Patriots over here. They've got their coverage rolled with 3 to cover 2. Zazakim wants it in the backfield. His defender fell down. Aaron didn't see him as he's trying to run and tries to unload it. Lucky he put some air under that, or that thing would have been picked off in the end zone.
And that was Hobbs along with Wilson. 25 yards for Carney. First field goal attempt by either team today.
Offense,
there's a flag down.
5 yards. It's still 4th down.
They'll go back. Jim Haslett talking to Al Everest, the special teams coach.
Boy, they've missed Michael Lewis all year, haven't they, on special teams? You talk about their return game, and McAfee's been okay returning kicks and other things, but we had that fumble early in the year to start the Giant game. I don't know if they ever recovered from that. Without Michael Lewis out there, special teams, as one of your returners, their numbers just haven't been the same. Now this guy Carney, though, once again, Ronnie, having another solid season as a kicker.
2 out of 3 from this distance on the year, and he's pulling it, and he missed it. You just said it, Tim, missed opportunities. I can't think of a bigger miss than that. This February, the fastest sport on earth returns to Fox for another season of incredible action as the world's best drivers go bumper to bumper in a quest to take home the checkered flag. NASCAR returns to Fox only in high definition this February.
You're a motorhead. You love that stuff.
I'm a motocross motorhead.
Boy, you talked about
a real throttle.
Yeah.
This guy's got a throttle. Evans.
You like to twist that grip, right? Hey, you know, we're talking about missed opportunities for New Orleans, mistakes at critical times. We've seen it all year from this football team. How big does that delay of game penalty end up being on the Carney missed field goal? I mean, that thing, he pulls it just to the left. I can almost guarantee if they don't get that delay of game penalty and he's got 5 yards closer to the goalpost, that thing squeezes itself through the upright for 3 points.
Sometimes kickers like to move back a little bit, but I don't know if that's the case there. Evans continues to run right down the heart of the Saints defense.
Boy, he runs physical, doesn't he? I remember him at Auburn. I think he was a heck of a running back at Auburn. Played mostly fullback since he's gotten in the National Football League, and this guy understands it now. He knows that he's not going to do a lot of damage if he starts dancing in the backfield, so you can tell that there's a real urgency by Heath Evans to penetrate the hole and get there as soon as possible.
Look at that, the first 66 games, then the last 2 games.
Well, there's no doubt it's helped Tom Brady and open things up with the passing game.
Looking for the out. What a catch by Branch. Thrown out of bounds, and that definitely will be a flag.
That's pure frustration by Mike McKenzie, who gets spun around on an out route by Dion Branch.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 34, hit out of bounds, 15 yards from the end of the play. Automatic first down.
Here's going to be Branch here, out route on McKenzie. He just gets Mike turned around. Mike tries to, it's a great throw and catch. And then, of course, the little extracurricular out of frustration for McKenzie. Completely uncalled for.
8 penalties today for the New Orleans Saints. McKenzie brought here to the Saints last year in the trade, the midseason trade from Green Bay. Remember, he had the falling out.
Sniffing a tight end for some reason on this play.
They'll go back to old reliable instead. The other old reliable. Evans. Will Smith on the tackle.
This is after McKenzie got the flag and threw him down. Branch wants to start talking a little bit. His guys are going to pull him away now. That's not the game they play here in New England. You know how they play here in New England? They outsmart you, they outplay you. And we all talk about why they're so much better at the end of the season. Ronnie, I think they're mentally sharper than most of their opponents at the end of the season.
They get movement by the Saints, but then Logan Mankins, the rookie out of Fresno State, jumped off.
It was amazing talking to Dion Branch the other day.
Got a neutral zone infraction. Number 91 goes in the neutral zone, causing the offensive player to come up 5 yards. It's still second down.
And we asked him, how do you make it look so easy in the passing game? Of course, he was Super Bowl MVP. Heck, he had a better game the year before against Carolina in the Super Bowl. He said, film work, man. He said, Bill Belichick, it's something new every day with Coach. I said, well, what was new today? Oh, it was quiz day today. What do you mean quiz day? He starts asking you, who's your opponent? In front of the whole team, who's your opponent? What are his strengths? What are his weaknesses? What's his number? Right. Who's his backup? Who was there in the preseason playing that position? I mean, mentally, these guys are sharp.
That's Evans again. And it'll, like you said, it'll be something different. But he did this week in the meetings. And Patriots owner Bob Kraft sat in on the meeting like he does so often. He said, I could only take about 10 minutes of it, and I had to get up and walk out. Mr. Kraft was nice enough to come by the other day and visit with us. He said, it's amazing. There's always an edge on this team. There's something that keeps this team from resting on the laurels of 3 Super Bowls.
You know what it is? And there's Mr. Kraft right there, and it all starts with him. It's humility.
Yep.
You can't find more low-maintenance superstars in all of professional sport than they've got here in New England.
And Brady got low on that one to get the first down. And see, McKenzie just can't let it go. Gets into it that time with Patrick Pass.
Well, I asked Mike yesterday, I said, Ronnie and I have both been on some 5-11, some 6-10 type teams, and we've also been on good playoff teams. I said, Mike, let me tell you something, dude, and you played in a lot of good teams with Green Bay. I said, it gets mighty frustrating when you end up 5-11. He goes, believe me, it's miserable right now for us, the New Orleans Saints.
Yeah, and that wasn't on McKenzie. Their pass took a shot at him. Average yards on first down. And, you know, every offensive coordinator in the league wants to be 3rd or 5 or less. And we've got another late flag. This is still going on from the push out of bounds late on Dion Branch.
Boy, Will Smith is hot.
Personal foul, number 91, kneeing a player while he's on the ground. At the distance to the goal, first down.
I'm surprised they didn't eject.
Yeah, Smith. I am too. Completely uncalled for by Will Smith. And watch him knee. Watch Will Smith kneeing the guy as he's down. I mean, Heath Evans is down. Will Smith is doing all that he can to rub that knee into his ear hole. And see what it was. He was just mad he got rolled up. That's what it was.
That'll make you mad. But Tim, this follows suit on what we're talking about.
I think Fourier finished the play there, and Will Smith wasn't happy about it.
There's a certain amount of discipline that's needed to win over and over and over. And it's the little things like coming in and watching the film. Watching film around here in New England is a religion. You don't get away if you're a young guy without going out, getting out of that building and not watching your share of film throughout the week.
You can get away, but guess what?
You won't be there long.
You won't be there long. Belichick's going to quiz you in the meetings. He's going to show you up in front of your whole team. Yep. And then you'll have guys like Willie McGinnis who'll be checking on you. And guess what? If you're not out there making plays, you're not showing up on the practice field, they're going to get in your ear about it, the veterans on this team.
Multiple fouls on the play. Only one can be enforced. Number 91, personal foul, kneeing a player. Number 91, unsportsmanlike conduct. Number 91, personal foul, throwing his helmet. After distance to the goal, first down.
And the bottom line, look what this has done to your field position on defense.
We've been talking about it all day. Self-destruction, mistakes at critical times. And here's the play right here. And there's Fourier on Will Smith right there. 88 on 91. And he's just continuing to block until he hears the whistle. That's great stuff by Christian Fourier.
Yeah, he's just doing his job.
And Will Smith clearly frustrated. A defensive end getting pancaked by a tight end doesn't go over well, man. I'm telling you. Even if this game's 0-0, he might pop after that. D-ends aren't supposed to get blocked by pass-catching tight ends in pro football. Very good job by Fourier. Very unintelligent thought process by Will Smith trying to finish him off.
And they still talk it over. And I mentioned earlier, you know, what's going to happen with the New Orleans Saints
I don't know.
next year? Where are they going to play their games?
Is it about winning? Is that what it's about in this league? Because to me, it's always been about winning. And if I'm a head coach in this league, and if you think about next year where New Orleans is going to be, and I know the league's going to try to help them out in certain regards. If they go back to New Orleans and practice out of their facility, they don't have a home stadium. If they stay in San Antonio and play there, they don't have a facility. I mean, it's going to be difficult to win for the New Orleans Saints, and Jimmy has it without question in 2006.
They'll go with the counter and Evans. And clearly, Saints owner Tom Benson, beyond frustration, we've seen the headlines, the clippings, the TV shots of him being frustrating and lashing out. But you can understand, in a sense, no one has any closure on the situation.
Ronnie,
they don't know where they're going to be
that's right.
and how it's going to shake down.
That's right. And they've been in uncharted territory all year long. I think Jim Haslett deserves a pass, to be honest with you.
Yep.
I think he deserves to be coach of the New Orleans Saints next year. My question is, I don't know if he wants the job, because if it was me and it's about winning, I don't know if I want to go through another year of that.
2nd and 10 for Brady. White thrown behind it. Thomas on the coverage. That'll bring up the 3rd down and 10.
And there's the AFC East standings, and I will be real surprised if the Patriots don't finish up and win this division with a 9-7 record and win a home playoff game. And then once you're in the show, who knows how far you're going to go. With this team hopefully getting healthy down the stretch with Corey Dillon and Gibbons and Daniel Graham and some of the other guys getting into the lineup. And heck, Daniel Graham active today. I don't know if he's been in this game all game long. A healthy scratch or a surprise scratch last week, and Benjamin Watson-Fourier have picked up the slack.
There's a hit inside, the nice play. That's what you call coming back after all the drama and making a play. Will Smith.
And Will's just going to penetrate the B gap right there. Guys do not get on him. Hochstein has no chance because of the get off by Will Smith. Just flew off the rock, penetrated the gap. And now I don't think you need any of the big celebration after what you just did on the field.
Right.
Putting your team in this position with a couple of bonehead penalties.
About 30 yards and penalty yards. This will be Vinatieri from 37 yards out. And he's got that little draw. And that's another 3 points for the New England Patriots. They are in the lead comfortably here in the 4th.
Fox NFL Sunday is sponsored by Ford F-150, built Ford tough. By State Farm, great service, great rates. That's why 40 million drivers trust State Farm. By Visa, proud sponsor of the NFL. With Visa's multiple layers of security, you're protected. And by Budweiser, bright, crisp, clean, pure. This is Budweiser, this is beer.
We're back in Gillette Stadium here in Foxborough. Ron Pitts, Tim Ryan, Butch Stearns. Patriots have just put together another nice drive with the help of about 3 personal fouls and a complete implosion by the New Orleans Saints defense. Stecker gets a nice block. Stecker out to the 35, 50, and Aaron Stecker with a nice return. He'll set up good field position for Aaron Brooks. Eugene Wilson on the tackle, 51 yards on the return. Sad news for all of us in the football family. Bill Belichick's father, Steve Belichick, passed away last night at the age of 86. He coached 33 years at the Naval Academy. From all of us here at Fox Sports, we send out our prayers and wishes.
And a lot of what Bill Belichick is today is because of his father, Steve, and taught him to break down film running when he was 9 years old at Navy. And I'll tell you some really good stuff. You get an opportunity to pick up a book that was just put out from David Halberstam on Bill Belichick called The Education of a Coach. His dad played a big role in this book, and I know David, Mr. Halberstam, knew Steve as well. And sad news today, but a very good read if you get an opportunity to get that on Bill Belichick.
You talk about some of those stories growing up, the son of a coach that he told us in the meeting the other day. They throw this one outside. Is that a live ball tipped, intended for Aaron Stecker, like the fishing trip story, and learning the lesson about being on time. Rode his bike 15, 16 miles.
No, it was only 17 miles at 4:30 in the morning
to join a fishing expedition
with Frank Gifford on the boat, and they left the harbor before Bill got there, riding his bike in a driving rain. They came back in and got him, and I'll tell you one thing I know that Bill learned from that: to get up 15 minutes earlier next time before he gets on that bike to go 17 miles.
3rd and 1, Stecker. And he'll have the first down in what is, without a doubt, the best starting field position of the day for the New Orleans Saints.
And talking to Coach Belichick yesterday, Ronnie, I said, you know, you deserve so much credit, Coach, for the humility of this team. You've won 3 or 4 Super Bowls. There's no question it's a dynasty. How do you do it? What's his answer? Give the credit to the players. Give the credit to the coaching staff. Look, I'm just doing what I do. I coach football. It's the guys that we bring in here are the guys that make it happen. The humility starts at the top.
It's a check down. Stecker's pushed out of bounds. He got a couple. Vrabel on the tackle. And there's a sign outside of the locker room that talks about the difference between individuals and the difference between team players. The individuals will win games and get stats, but team players win championships.
Yep.
And that couldn't ring more true than right here in New England.
No, there's no doubt that they're a dynasty, and I think it's harder than ever before to create a dynasty with free agency and parity and competitive balance in the National Football League, and somehow, some way, they've been able to get it done.
Hilton drops the easiest pass of the day for him, and that would have been a for sure first down.
Well, this is the stuff that I was talking about coming into the game today from the tight ends. They have not provided an impact for Aaron Brooks in terms of being a receiving threat. Hilton comes around today with some nice plays, and now back to the same old thing for the tight ends. Drops one that hits him right in the chest plate.
3rd down and 6. Saints have been fighting uphill ever since that big play. A 60-yard touchdown from Brady to Andre Davis.
Watch Stallworth backside.
That's the first down. 1 tackle away from breaking it. And Stallworth fights out close to the 20-yard line. Brought down by the rookie Ellis Hobbs.
You could see this just in formation. I mean, New England had everybody rolled to Joe Horn, so safeties, corner, everybody over here on this side, man-to-man, big cushion, just got to get to the sticks for the first down. Nice break off in front of the stripe there. Of course, they can't see the stripe on the field, but knowing where the sticks were, good stuff by Stallworth.
Hakeem is close to the 10-yard line. Let's go to Los Angeles for this update in James Brown.
Giants trying to stay abreast atop the NFC East with Dallas. Finally get the ball to Jeremy Shockey after a pass interference call. He finally catches his first ball of the day. Why not make it a touchdown? 20-10 Giants over the Eagles. 12 minutes left in regulation. Back to Ron and Tim.
All right, JB, thank you. Going for all of it. And it's incomplete to Joe Horn.
Hank Poteet's got him in man coverage. Right here, Joe Horn, Hank Poteet, 32 on him. He's just going to run a corner route, and Aaron lets this ball go too late, and Joe can't get to it. Pretty good coverage by Poteet as well.
I mentioned earlier the injuries in the secondary. We've already talked about Rodney Harrison, but Tyrone Poole, another veteran corner out of the mix back there.
Randall Gay, who started a bunch of games last year. Chad Scott, who they brought over from Pittsburgh to play a big role.
Hard to plug guys in that quick. And that's what I mean. Touchdown Saints. Dante Stallworth with his 4th touchdown of the year.
They're going to stagger he and Joe Horn, and it's Poteet, man coverage on Stallworth. Watch the little confusion here by the defensive backs as Joe stacks behind him. A little trail route that's able to give Stallworth the inside leverage on Poteet. And that's an example of what Aaron can do. If you give him time, he can fire it right down the middle of the field. And that's a record-breaking touchdown for Aaron Brooks.
It is. Now holds a record in the Saints franchise for the most touchdown passes. 116, as Carney puts it through. 116 for him. 5 touchdowns on the year for Dante Stallworth.
Fox NFL Sunday is sponsored by Lowe's, where improving home improvement never ends.
A little ice skating action. Beautiful weather this weekend here in the Northeast as we look at the touchdown passes as Aaron Brooks now sits on top of a touchdown pass board for the franchise.
A lot less games than Archie Manning.
A lot less, yeah. Possible onside kick maybe for the Saints. No. They just kick away. Dwight has a lane. Dwight gets back close to the 30-yard line. 24-14, New England. We're back in Foxborough. The big picture. The Patriots in control as you look at the Super Bowl banners hanging below. Somewhat reminiscent of the Boston Celtics banners back in the Garden. 1st and 10. Going deep again to Davis. A step away. Let's go down to our sideline reporter, Butch Stearns.
Well, Ronnie, it's going to be interesting if the Saints get the ball back. Injuries all year for the Patriots. Asante Samuel, their starting cornerback, was out on that last drive. Patriots tell me it's a leg problem. They won't be more specific than that. They say his return is probable. We'll see if the Saints get the ball back.
Well, and him being out is why Dante Stallworth was able to smoke Hank Poteet on that touchdown across the middle of the field. But, boy, you get a pretty good illustration there of the type of speed threat that Andre Davis is out on the edge. And a guy that can stretch a field like that, of course, Gibbons is out, Troy Brown very limited with a foot. Andre Davis has played a big role in that.
And you wonder why Evans has a 4.9 yard per carry average coming into this game. Or at least last week against Miami. There's 11 yards, and that's an example of why.
Well, and they caught the defenders. Watch Jonathan Sullivan slanting inside, makes it an easy block down. For the offensive guard, Steve Neal creates a big gap. Heath Evans able to get up inside. Again, what we've seen all day from him, north and south. No jitterbugging, no dancing for Heath Evans in the backfield.
And he's exactly 4.9 yards per carry today. 15 carries for 73 yards. Don't sleep on Heath Evans anymore. Going deep again. They're going to keep doing this until they get it. Incomplete. No flag. Fakir Brown on the coverage. Let's go to Los Angeles for James Brown.
17 second-half points for Atlanta. Take a look at Michael Vick drilling this one to Michael Jenkins. 10-yard strike. Atlanta on top by 7. 7 minutes left in regulation. 272 passing yards by Mike Vick. Third straight week with 200-plus yards. Back to Ron and Tim.
Hey, JB, tell Terry that Jim Haslett said if he takes the team down in New Orleans that he's going to step on his head again.
Unless he gives him a raise. And then he'll be kind to TB. Jimmy said Terry didn't talk to him, and that happened their rookie year. I guess he kicked Terry in the head.
New England.
After Terry's head kick. He said Terry didn't talk to him for 10 years after that. Said it's all good now, though.
While serving up chops and pounds of bologna, I get my NFL stats on my cellular phony.
The ends are in motion. The offense is shifting. I've been here so long, they think I'm shoplifting.
My wife can't believe I went to the store, but with NFL on Sprint, I won't miss a score.
Like a three-wheeled grocery cart.
Or a receiverless throw.
An aisle 9 without football?
Is not one I like to know.
Exclusive NFL programs, only from the new Sprint.
Ronnie, this is the last play by Andre Davis, and the crowd didn't like it. Look at the right hand by Fakir Brown. Up across, under the neck, definitely made contact. That was a pass interference that the back judge let get away as Fakir Brown was trying to close the gap on Andre Davis. I think you're right. I think they're going to keep going with it until they hit it like they did earlier for the touchdown.
Brown made no attempt to play the ball, and he made contact. That's pass. And as we said in the open, New England looking at just a chance as New Orleans calls timeout. A chance right now to win consecutive back-to-back games. They haven't done that, believe it or not, since last year. That's what you call looking for momentum. A sloppy day penalty-wise for the Saints. For New Orleans, well, Aaron Brooks. Yeah, for New Orleans, Aaron Brooks kind of picked up where he's been leaving off all year. There's a wide one there. It's a pass. Fumble. They pick it up. I haven't heard a whistle yet. That's picked up by Terrence Melton. And that's Saints ball.
Well, Will Smith is the guy that had him. Will Smith has come alive in this game today. He's had a terrific game. with the exception of a couple of bad plays early. There's Will here. It's going to get off Steve Neal. Now, let's see if pass is down. Yeah, I think he's down. I think his rear end was on the ground by the time Will Smith rolled over and pulled that football out. It was called a fumble on the field. You didn't hear a whistle. This one will come under challenge. And again, with 3:43 left, the challenge has got to come from the sidelines. Bill Belichick has got a timeout at left, so he's able to utilize that challenge and throw the red flag.
He definitely looked down.
New England's challenge and the call on the play that it was a fumble.
So they will challenge it. We will come back for the results. Referee Gerald Austin, I believe, is ready to make an announcement. Go ahead,
After
Jerry.
reviewing the play, the runner's buttocks on the ground prior to the ball coming out. It'll be 4th down at the 35-yard line.
That's right.
Great arm strength by Patrick Pass to hang on to this ball. I mean, Will Smith is trying like heck to rip it out. Pass ends up saying, heck with it. I'm going to grab it with both hands. And then you saw his rear end hit the turf right there before that ball ever popped out. Yep.
That would have been the second caused fumble of the day for Will Smith. He's been active everywhere, talking and playing. Miller will punt this one away. Hakeem with a lane. Woo. And he took a big shot at about the 38-yard line. And a quick recap. The 98-yard drive capped off by the Dion Branch touchdown. Then Mike Vrabel, as he always does, sneaking out, getting in the end zone.
Mrs. Davis on the long one, and 3 times it was play action that set up all 3 touchdowns.
New Orleans got on the board with this Dante Stallworth shot inside, but then they missed the field goal and then get beat, as you saw earlier with the Andre Davis 60-yarder. They never recovered after that big play touchdown. You could see the momentum just kind of seep out from there. And a last chance for all intents and purposes here for the Saints.
That ball was tipped. Dante Stallworth thought that thing was coming in, was ready to catch it, and then tipped at the line of scrimmage. It took a nosedive on him. Wasn't able to come up with it. Boy, thinking big picture for these New Orleans Saints. And again, 4 of the last final games are in the division, and the division's still within their sights if they can go on a little winning streak. And remember, they controlled things last year, were able to finish 8-8, missed the playoff because of a tiebreaker, I think, up there with the Rams. But it'll be a tough row to hoe here the rest of the year, I think, for the New Orleans Saints.
Stecker trying to get the first down and then get out of bounds, and he does that. Let's go to Los Angeles for this update from JB.
Ron and Tim, look at the maturation between Plaxico Burress and Eli Manning. 3-step drop. You think it's going to be a short route? No. Plaxico takes off. Eli hooks up with him 61 yards to pay dirt. Had been a 3-point game, now a 10-point game with under 5 left in regulation. Back to Ron Pitts and Tim Ryan.
You know, you look at Plex, maybe the biggest free agent acquisition this year in this offseason with the impact he's had with the New York Giants.
Boy, and the NFC East is back and in full effect. Brooks with time. Overshoots Stallworth.
Ronnie, you know how hard it is to win in this league when circumstances are perfect. And with New Orleans and this uncharted territory that they've been in, you see the rest of their games. I mean, it's going to be difficult for them. And, I mean, who knows what's going to happen. But 5 wins, I think, would be big for them if they could finish out and get 3 more with the way that schedule looks the rest of the season. But it's just been tough. I mean, and you have to think big picture going into next year. How this team is going to be able to stay competitive. How are they going to get quality free agents? I mean, a lot of questions that haven't been answered for the New Orleans Saints.
Hilton is still rolling. Arguably the best day of the career for Zach Hilton.
And how tough has it been for Jim Haslett? I mean, we've talked about all the circumstances, and he goes home. They have the bye week last week and was going to go home taking some football with the kids, and you talk about a rough week. His son breaks his leg, his daughter breaks his finger, and then they have to put the dog to sleep. 7-year-old dog, family dog, they have to put him down because it has cancer. Things for Jim Haslett mentally so difficult for him in this 2005 season.
18 yards on that pickup. Saints still in this one now. Let's not close the door too soon. They need a quick score. That's Horn. Horn will fight for extra yardage but won't get much. That's Hank Poteet on the coverage. Clock rolling. You can see the timeout.
They got to step up. Corner. They got to step up the urgency here with 2:45 to go now. Down 10 points. You got to get this baby going. Still got 2 timeouts left. The whole field is open to him.
Deep comeback. And a bounce off the chest. Thrown a little bit behind Stallworth, but should have been caught. Hobbs on the coverage.
They flood the zone out here, and what New England is actually they're in man coverage. Joe's going to run a route here. Dante's going to run the same thing, but 2 or 3 yards deeper. Dante breaks it off, comes back, bad throw by Aaron Brooks. One that could have been caught. Boy, he's got some heat on that football when he gets rid of it now.
He can throw it. He's had a lot of drops this year.
All year, they lead the NFL in drops by their wide receivers.
3rd down and 7. Plenty of time. Coverage was perfect. Eugene Wilson, the safety, coming over and latching on. They're going to go for the field goal here on 4th down.
Down 10,
they got to get the 3.
You got to get your 3. One way or another, you got to get your 3. So get it here. So remember, Carney missed his last field goal attempt, pulled it to the left. Then obviously an onside kick will be coming up with the New Orleans Saints if they can punch this one through and get 3.
And this distance does not bode well for him. He's got a long of 49 and it'll be from 46, but he's 4 from 8 from here. That one will be good. And so the Saints get a little closer. So after all that's been said and done and all the fireworks from the New England offense, we are still looking at a 7-point game here with 2:20 left to play. And New Orleans has 2 timeouts.
That's right, and that's the thing. I mean, do you have enough faith in your defense now to come out here and utilize those 2 timeouts and the 2-minute warning and just kick it off deep here? It looks like New Orleans is setting up. Al Everest has got him to go for the onside kick. See if they can get the football back.
Yeah, they're definitely going for it. You can see our red line. Now that is where the ball has to cross in order for it to be hot.
But let's remember that any of these guys can come in front of the red line to grab it, and then now they get back and show a conventional kickoff.
They still may do something crazy. Nope.
Yep. They're going to use the timeouts and the clock. Smart move by Haslett.
White dancing for room. Spins, takes a hit, and he'll go down just shy of the 30-yard line. Thanksgiving Day, a tradition here on Fox. Don't miss this one. The Atlanta Falcons traveling to Detroit to take on the Lions. Michael Vick will try to make his first Thanksgiving with us on Fox a memorable one. Coverage starts at 11:30 a.m. Eastern right here on Fox.
It's like a rough day for Detroit down in Dallas. 2 minutes left to go in that one, down 20-7 in that ball game. Always tough on Thanksgiving Day, though, in Detroit. Now let's see if the gamble can pay off and this defense can force a 3 and out and get the offense back on the field.
Well, the first guy you're going to have to stop is a hold. This guy, Evans.
Well, that's a hold. Brandon Gorin on Will Smith. Will Smith has got, he's going off right now. He is unstoppable
76
in this
offense,
football game.
10 yards. It's still first down.
He has been coming off and getting off the rock and getting penetration into the backfield. Here he is. Right here's Brandon Gorin. He has no chance but to hold Will Smith.
Correction, penalty is going to be declined. 2nd down.
Okay, so they'll decline the penalty.
You know why? Because time is more important right now than moving them back.
So for all intents and purposes, make them play with 2 more downs.
Right, put them in 2nd down.
And New England can no longer go into safety mode here. They've got to try to get a first down and make New Orleans burn timeouts.
New Orleans is going to accept the 10-yard penalty, 10 yards, repeat first down.
Okay. So they'll take it. Maybe they thought more of field position. I don't know.
Well, they hit him with a no gain.
There will be a stoppage in 8 seconds for the 2-minute warning.
And you see here, still two timeouts left.
So a big stop here. Saints could be looking good on a 3rd down. Excuse me, a 2nd down. Nothing happening there. And that's the 2-minute warning. Saints holding on. 24-17. Patriots.
2-minute warning.
Fox NFL Sunday is sponsored by Sprint Business. With Sprint Business, you can make just about any place a workplace. Sprint Business, yes you can.
Well, you can't say that the Saints can't put up yardage.
No, and I think that should make you a little nervous if you're New England, who've had problems all year long in their secondary. If, in fact, New Orleans can force New England to punt here and have some time left on the clock for Aaron Brooks and his offense with 2 timeouts still left on the board.
2-minute warning gone. 2 timeouts for New Orleans, 1 for New England. 2nd and 19. Going deep again for Davis. He cuts inside, and it's knocked away. That one not even close for a PI. Good coverage by Fakir Brown.
Very good coverage by Fakir Brown. Just turns and runs. No jam. He's playing him the whole way. And see how by his body starts to push him to the sideline while he's got his head turned and looked at the football. Andre Davis tries to break off it, come back inside. Dwight Smith played it well the whole way. Fakir Brown played it well the whole way.
Third and 19. They'll go with the toss. It's a pass, and all they got to do is make the tackle and get off the field. Timeout by the Saints. They are 7 points away from tying this thing up. The Patriots will punt it away. Miller with a long kick. Hakeem at the 25. He dances. 2 flags, 3 flags are down as he's pushed out of bounds at the 31, 32-yard line. 50 yards on the punt. A boomer by Josh Miller.
Same story all year. Looks like it's going to be Terrence Melton with a block in the back, and a questionable one as he's down there in front of Oz Hakeem on Larry Izzo.
During the run back, illegal block from behind. Number 51 of the receiving team, 10 yards. 1st down.
And I think the only way that the referees can judge this, and it's the right way, is where's the momentum, where's the impetus of Izzo going? And here it is right here. Does he end up falling this way or fall forward? If he falls forward, it's a push in the back. That's which way he falls, they get the call. And they called it from both sides. They called it from the side. The back judge called it from the middle of the field. Both guys had the opportunity. They saw it. They called it.
And Tim, that's the 3rd punt over 50 yards today for Miller. Hard to get your blocks in order when the ball is going that far downfield.
Ronnie trying to cover with Artrell Hawkins and Hank Poteet on the back end right now.
Horn caught. He's down at the 45-yard line.
Look at that.
Aaron Brooks. There's his 4th quarter comebacks. He had one this season, the first game of the season. We were a part of that up in Carolina, and the win over Carolina.
Tell you what, a lot of these confident Patriots fans left. They better put empty seats up there.
Hilton. And Hilton has it. He's in bounds. I believe they marked him short of the 1st down. 57 seconds and counting. The Saints still have 1 timeout. It'll bring up a 2nd and 1.
Wasting valuable time here, man.
Saints are down by 7.
Took over 20 seconds for that play.
Checks it down to Stecker.
Got to call a timeout.
Now you got to burn the timeout. And they do. The final timeout.
Timeout, New Orleans. Their 3rd and final one.
Not good time management there by Aaron Brooks. I mean, either clock that thing or if nobody's open, throw it away. Don't dump it off to the middle of the field for a 2-yard gain and have to use your last timeout.
You mentioned that Artrell Hawkins is in with the injury to Asante Samuel. Hawkins was just signed this week, was cut by Washington in training camp after spending last year with Carolina.
Asante Samuel back in the football game for Hank Poteet. So Artrell is out there in their nickel and dime stuff, and Asante Samuel back in the football game.
When things got tight, he got healthy. I think Belichick said, hey, we need you, man. 34 seconds. No place to go for Brooks, and he runs it. And he's going to get the first down, then some. Now he's got to get on the ball.
Get up and clock it. Got to get up and clock it. You got to get up, you got to clock it. Get your line back to the line. Give yourself 15 seconds to run a couple plays.
And make sure everyone's set, because a false start penalty in this situation would be a 10-second runoff. They can't afford that right now. So the story is this: a 2nd and 10, 15 seconds left. No timeouts. They're down by 7.
And listening to Bill Belichick all week, listening to him over the weekend, talking to him, who did he fear? Aaron Brooks and his arm against his pass defense. And Aaron has kept him in this thing the whole way through, threatening the back end of New England.
Teddy Bruschi checks out. 2nd and 10. Pump fake. Going for it all. Into double coverage. It's caught, but I don't think he's in bounds. Stallworth with a great catch, but he was out.
And tight coverage by Ellis Hobbs. He's with him the whole time. Watch him turn and look at the football. As he turns there, really good stuff, because any contact at that point becomes a moot issue because they're both looking at the ball. Don't give the referee or the back judge an opportunity to get a pass interference call. Good tight coverage by the rookie, Ellis Hobbs. And Bill Belichick telling everybody, back up. It's 3rd down, 9 seconds left. Keep him out of the end zone.
Going for Horn. Intercepted. Eugene Wilson, the free safety, ices the game.
Well, I guess if you're going to get your first pick of the year, that's when you get it. A walk-off pick.
A walk-off interception.
And Aaron doing all he can, has good time, just trying to force this thing in there for 6. Double coverage back there on Joe Horn, and Eugene Wilson goes up, makes a terrific play on the football.
Patriots get the win. We'll be back to wrap things up right after this. The final, New England 24, the Saints 17. Here's our UPS leaderboard. Remember, UPS, what can Brown do for you? Tom Brady with a pretty solid day as usual. Joe Horn with some nice catches there late, but Aaron Brooks sets a franchise record for the most touchdown passes. And our Lipitor play of the game, 3rd-year man Eugene Wilson with the walk-off interception, as my man Tim Ryan calls it. His first interception of the year to thwart the attempt to tie the game up by the New Orleans Saints. And he does secure the catch right there. So for Tim Ryan, Butch Stearns, I'm Ron Pitts, saying so long from New England. Well, the final score is the Patriots 24, the Saints 17. Right now, let's take you to the Fox postgame show. Here's James Brown. So long, everybody.